That label is like relatively new, and I would say probably the best underground death metal label in the States. I mean, dude, just any band that I've ever liked has at some point, any newer band I've ever liked has at some point had a release through them.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Ingersoll, and I'm here with a man that's addicted to chaos.
Oh, your boy, Modd. What's good, Jay?
Deep Cut. Maybe not the best Megadeth song, but I liked it.
One of my favorites from that album.
Yep. And
Good.
today we welcome the Mid-Michigan Sepsisgrind cataclysmic death metal from Michigan. Way up north, right?
Yes.
A little up north.
Yep. So Decedent. Thank you guys for coming on the show, man. Welcome to the show.
Hell yeah. Thanks for
Excited
having
to
us.
be here.
Hell yeah. So I was actually introduced to your band. Nick and I went out to a show here in Muskegon. You guys played in our neck of the woods.
Mhm.
And when I walked in the door, we're really good friends with Jeremy McClary, the guy that throws on SF shows.
Yeah, he's a
That's
great
a
dude.
homie.
Yep. And he goes, dude, wait till you see this band. He's like, because he knows what I like. He's like, wait till you see this. And then when I seen you guys, I was like, me and Nick were both like, holy fuck, these guys are badass, dude.
Yeah.
So like, you guys really impressed us, and that's why we came and talked to you. I was like, man, I'd love to get you guys on the show. Fucking super impressed by your music, and we're gonna talk about all your music here. But man, you guys put on a hell of a live show, so fucking awesome of that.
Thanks.
I feel
Yeah,
like
thank
you
you.
guys, if I had to put something on there, because I like to kind of just put, we talk a lot of subgenres and it gets so diluted and stuff, but like I always say on the show, we do that so we can put stuff in a box so we know where to find it, right? So for me, when I listen to you guys' stuff, you kind of remind me of this like old school death metal, but in a new school way, like along the Sanguisugabogg, 200 Stab Wounds, Frozen Soul, that kind of with a little bit of slam mixed in there, but you also have, you can tell your influences, some Cannibal Corpse type stuff. I know you're inspired by Chuck, and we'll talk a little bit about that. A lot of that doesn't bleed through, but at times I can kind of hear it in there, and that makes Nick and I proud,
Very happy.
proud
Oh,
of
yeah.
you young motherfuckers doing
Yeah.
that shit.
There's a little bit of Chuck inside of everybody.
Yep, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the more you have in there, the more I'll probably listen to your music. So,
Real as fuck.
Got Chuck in her veins.
Mhm.
so before we get totally into this, why don't you just go around the table, tell us what you do, so we can introduce, get names and voices acclimated with each other.
All right. I'm Josiah Hill. I do guitars and vocals for Decedent.
I am Anthony Mark. I play drums for Decedent.
I'm Malakai. I play the bass.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, man! You guys crush for a 3-piece too, man. That's
Yeah,
hard to
thanks.
full, have that full sound as a 3-piece, and I think you guys do that really well.
Thank you.
So, especially with like doing the vocals on top of that, obviously Fetus is a famous 3-piece that
Oh,
throws
yeah.
it the fuck down,
Mhm.
So you guys do a great job at that.
Oh, yeah.
3 pieces are just cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean-
automatically.
I mean, we've had like a lot of 2-pieces on this show too, and we're always like, why 2 pieces? But it's like, man, you don't have 5 guys you're dealing with. It's like 3
Mhm.
guys. I see
Yep.
you guys pulled up in the truck.
Yep.
So it's like you
Mhm.
can take the truck, right? It's probably not the best vehicle for gas money wise, but
Right,
but
yeah,
still,
it's
you don't have to figure out how to get 5 or 6 guys to a show. You all got different cars and all that. It's kind of what
Mhm.
my band does. We just meet there and everybody's got their own car
Yeah.
with their gear in it, So before we start, I really want to talk about this new album. I kind of set this podcast up so it's actually going to release, and we'll talk a little more about that. If this is correct, I want to make sure this is correct. This podcast will actually come out that Tuesday before the album gets released.
Oh,
sick.
So
Awesome.
we'll be able to like put our content out in order to help promote the album as
Yeah.
it comes out,
Cool.
and it all correlate together. So it works out perfect that you guys are here today. So why don't you just take me a little bit through the history of the band going up until this EP, which was only a couple years ago, March 5th, 2023. But tell me a little bit about the journey and where you guys kind of all convened together and how that worked.
Well, me and Anthony are actually like cousins. So
Okay.
like we've known each other like for our entire life. But we kind of like obviously drifted apart maybe a little bit through middle school. Right up until like high school, we kind of reconnected because we were like, yo, Slipknot's cool.
Yeah.
Yo, new metal's cool. And then
It is.
I became friends with him in middle school through like talking about like Korn and shit. Just I was a huge new metal kid.
Yeah.
But then we've always talked about like playing in a band together, but we never knew what we wanted to do because we were all like into different stuff. So like we could never really like settle on like a genre or like even like just starting to play. Like I didn't even know how to write songs for the longest time. So it's not like we could just like set up and just like see what happens, you know? So it was like when we first heard like Sanguisugabogg and stuff, that was like when we like all together were like, oh, we want to start a band because like we liked like the old school shit, but like the new like maggot stomp wave that was happening at that time, like brought like the old school in, but also made it like way heavier. And it's like that's like the sound that I always like was hearing, like when I would be looking for like heavy shit. So like we would like get together and like jam, but like it was never like a solid thing because he used to play bass and he also played guitar. And for the longest time, we were like, we just got to find other people. We need to find like a drummer and shit. But we would sometimes like jam with each other, and he already had a drum kit. So we were like, in order to just get the ball rolling, I guess, how about you just play drums and you just play bass, and we can like find people later down the road. So
And then we decided finding people was too hard.
Yeah,
And
all
we
the
just kept
people
it
we
this way.
met through like trying to get like people to join were like weird. Like we would get like 40-year-old like deathcore vocalists like hitting us up when we were still like juniors in high school. And they'd be like, dude, I'll show you what I can do. And then they send like a video of them trying to sound like Lorna Shore or some shit. Like, that's not what we want.
One of them like hit us up later down the road too, and was like, "Dude, can you guys like spot me $30?"
Oh my god! Yeah, it was like one specific guy, and I made a Facebook post like, "We need a vocalist, please." And dude, he was texting me on Messenger for like a week straight, showing me all his like Suicide Boys merch collection and stuff. And I was just like, nah, dude, like we're good. He lived in like Flint, and I was like, nah, it's like a far drive and stuff. And then I think it was when we were recording the very first demo, he just texted me out of nowhere and was like, bro, let me hold $30. I got you next week, I promise.
That red flag when someone says, let me hold $30.
How long?
When you use that vernacular, you're not holding nothing of mine, homie. So
never get your money.
It sounds like you guys dodged a deathcore moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude,
honestly,
for
at the
sure.
time.
We dodged so many bullets, like working up, knock on wood, but
Yeah.
nothing bad has happened yet.
But you guys are from Ypsilanti, is that true?
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant.
Okay. So it's probably a little bit even harder to find members up in that neck of the
Oh,
woods,
yeah.
huh?
Nobody.
It's terrible.
Like there was like kids that we went to school with that like listened to like metal and shit, but like they were like, it's like when like you come across like somebody that like they talk way more than what they actually do. Like they'll be like, yeah, I'm a good vocalist, and they actually do it, and it's like,
Yeah.
it like sounds like shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude,
I play
only-
guitar and like, oh, you play, but you don't practice.
yeah,
it.
literally, it's
Yeah.
like it's like you can't just do it.
Yeah.
There'll be so many people like that,
Yeah.
but after a while, we just like decided it's so much easier to just have us do it because we all three of us know what we want, and we can already like accomplish it pretty much. I feel so. I feel like if we were to get another member, it might be like another guitar player or something. But even then, like it'd have to be somebody that we like can trust. Like we definitely, because like especially with like the climate with like the music scene and shit, you don't know who's like a fucking weirdo or something.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
Yeah.
like it would
For
definitely
sure.
have to be like a homie
Yeah.
to play guitar.
When you guys started out, was it just like 3 stringed instruments sitting down trying to write before
Yeah.
anything got on the kit?
Yeah.
We would all just kind of write different little
Okay.
parts and lines and stuff right here. We would link up in my basement, and we would just kind of riff around and be like, okay, yeah, this fits here and there. And we just kind of like brainstorm and be like, okay, then maybe a drum part or something.
Right.
But yeah, we were trying to find a drummer for the longest time. And like I have another cousin who was kind of down about it, but it was like, I won't have the time to do it. And then yeah, eventually it did get to that point where I did have a drum kit in my garage, and it was just collecting dust. And they were like, why don't you just hop on it and then play for a little bit?
So
And yeah, we were doing that for a little bit.
me and Jay are looking because I know what we're about to say, but
Yeah, so we would just do that, and then it was supposed to just be like this, like Josiah said, get the ball rowing, and then down the line we'll find somebody. And then I was like, yeah, so I'll keep playing bass then. And then it just kind of stuck, eventually, and then just kind of going. Yeah.
We're both probably thinking the same thing. Like, did you not realize how good you are on the drums? Like, did you not like
dude? Jesus Christ, dude!
Like you thought you were gonna have somebody better than you on the drums is like the $1 million question. You really
He's not a drummer, man.
There's a lot of drummers out there, just
bullshit.
not Mount Pleasant.
Well, listen. Just real quick, because I'm kind of understanding the story now, so it helps. That's why we ask these questions. But when I seen you play, when I seen you guys play, I was blown away. But like your drumming and drum parts and your tastefulness, I think I even told you that at the show. Like just the way your choices, your fills. It was fantastic, and I literally put you right up there next to Colin from Throne when I seen you play.
Well,
and Colin from Throne's
a monster.
He's an amazing dude, amazing drummer, and probably one of my favorite drummers. Period. If I could pick one guy to jam with, that would be the guy. Like of all guys,
honestly, who wouldn't?
And then and then I seen you play. I was like, this motherfucker, man. I was like, Jesus.
Well,
and I was like,
it
made us proud just because how young you guys are, and like just to see you guys starting. But as we talk about the evolution, so you guys got together, you're doing a little bit of jamming, a little bit of writing, you jump on the kit. When about year is this? 2021?
2022?
It was like the like pretty much like mid 2022 to the end of 2022.
Yeah.
Okay. So this first self-titled EP that came out March 5th, 2023.
That was like 6 months deep into us.
Into him and you
into
playing
him
drums.
playing drums.
Okay,
You can
makes
tell on
sense.
that record.
Yeah, I thought there was a different drummer. And there was, really. Right? I mean, because you were you know what I mean, from now. Because I listened to this, I'm like, no way this is the same dude I seen play these drums. You know?
Yep.
So it's a demo. Tell me a little bit about the demo then once you guys get into that phase. Tell me a little bit about this demo.
That happens so quick.
All the cool bands have short 4-song demos, so we had to do it because we wanted to be a cool band. And our homie Mark, he went to CMU for like audio and stuff, and we were just like, yo, we have like 4 songs. Can you record it at your house? And yeah, we just went to his house over the course of like a weekend and just tracked those 4 songs pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was chill.
That came out of nowhere too, because I remember we had those 4 songs already written, and then one day you just hit us up and was like, yo, Mark's down to record it. You guys just want to do it?
Yeah.
And then we went and did that, and then eventually down the line you're like, yo, now we got a show offer. And then that's when we kind of started playing shows. Was it the day before it dropped?
No, it was the same day that the EP dropped. We also had our very first show. And that show sucked, but
it was fun.
It started it all.
It was
yeah,
first show. Yeah,
writing all the songs was really fun too, because like obviously like I've written, like I started to get better at like songwriting a little bit before that. Like I would like just like write like shitty death metal songs in like BandLab or something with like horrible program drums. But writing was like cool because we would just come over to each other's like houses after like school or some shit and just try to basically just like be as heavy as we could possibly try to be, I guess. Because like we didn't really have like any specific bands that we wanted to sound like. We just knew that we wanted to be super heavy. So like we would just come in just like with like just like generic slam riffs, I guess, and then just like build off of that. Some of the songs on the EP here, they were like fun to look back on, but I don't know if I would listen to it personally.
Yeah. So I always go through the catalog. And yeah, I mean, it's a demo. It's a little rough around the edges or whatever, but I mean, it speaks volume to what we're about to speak about, though. So it's like kind of cool because you always start somewhere, right? Like you said, your first show sucked, right? It's fucking, I think everybody's first show fucking sucks. You know what I mean? So
you got to start from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's to be expected, you know?
A rite of passage.
Yeah, exactly. But then you guys kind of turn around almost a year later and you do the Persistent Ruin EP, which is like 17 minutes long. Tell me a little bit about that then, or, you know, just that year gap after you kind of came out with that EP there.
We knew that we wanted to like, not like be more technical, but add like a little bit more like flair to it, because a lot of the songs on the demo are like pretty just like straightforward, just like So like with like the EP, we were kind of like going into like less like a slammier route that we were doing on the first one, and like kind of more focusing on like more like I guess like evil, like dismal type death metal, like
Okay.
Incantation and like Malignant Altar and
Yep.
shit like that.
Real
Just really trying to
cleverness.
like just be like real gross with all the riffs.
We just grew like as collaborators in that year. And so like throughout that whole time we were just playing shows like every other weekend and then just listening to that demo and like hating it because we knew like how much our chemistry had changed just in that short time.
Right.
And so that was kind of like you said, that was kind of the goal with that EP was just like, let's just try to like be leveled up.
Yeah, just get better at everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Were there a few new influences that you guys spoke out loud and said, all right, we started here, let's shift a little bit. Let's start to incorporate a few other things. Were there things that you agreed on that you knew you wanted to steer into?
Yeah, I think for all of us, the band Malignant Altar is like really huge for us. And on like the first EP, like I was like kind of like some of the riffs I was like really inspired by like a lot of like Japanese like brutal death metal, like Gorvent and stuff like that. Just a lot of like, real like just simple, slow, like gritty slam shit. But like I said, all of us like that band Malignant Altar, and like it sucks that they rest in peace, they broke up. But freaking we just wanted to do something like that, like add more like just like not like heavy and like the slammy way, but just like heavy with like the vibes, and, like the darkness and the tones of everything.
Evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just make it more evil.
Yeah.
And that I mean, that was kind of my comment about the EP was, the production was a little bit better even yet. The drums added more technicality to it, adding some blasts in there, whereas before there wasn't like really any blasting. It was just a little here and there, but nothing. But it also makes sense if you're growing on the drums or whatever. The cerebral hemisect, the
That
last
song's
riff
dope.
where it stops and then just the drums and the bass go, then the guitar kicks in. That riff is absolutely badass, man.
Hell yeah.
So
That sucked so hard when we were writing it though, because I'm not very good at my instrument. And like, dude, Josiah like kind of had that idea. We don't really talk about songs when we write them. We kind of just like jam them out,
That was like the song though where we did actually talk about it,
Right.
because we went in Anthony's basement and we were like, okay, we actually have to figure out how to end this song.
And like we sat down for like a whole night and like wrote this whole ending section. And it was just so fucking difficult for me because I'm like, okay, I'm playing this, he's playing that, and he's just fucking doing whatever, dude. This is too much for me, man. And then when we got to tracking it, I was like barely getting there. I was right on the edge when we were recording the EP.
it's good pushing your skill ceiling though.
Yeah,
I mean,
these two have made me such a better musician, man.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's a lot of what metal is about, I find, because in other style of music, you can just kind of rest on the skill set that you already have and you play well within that. But when you're playing extreme metal, I feel like when you go into the studio, you want to be very well practiced and you want to be hitting that skill ceiling like all the time. You want to finally hit it, that take, and be like, fuck, I got it finally. So if you go in there and you do 20 takes on a bass line, it's because I'm hitting that skill ceiling and I'll get better at it, but I need to have it on wax that it's perfect finally one time, and I'll get better at it going forward so I can do it live. But in the studio, I don't think we're doing one takes in death metal or extreme metal.
No.
Like even no matter how well practiced you are, that's kind of the point of this style of music. It's a little bit look what I can do, but also it's always just that's what it needs to be. That's what I want to hear.
Yep.
And it isn't entirely ego based, but it is in a sense skill based where I need to be this good on the record. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And then so it's like a mere few months later, you guys put out the single "Senseless Disgust,"
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And that says "Harder Than You" Records. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Mike, the guitarist from Kingslayer, he was like really our first friend in like the scene. Like he was the first person. Anthony met him at a bar up in Mount Pleasant.
A nightclub.
A
Wayside.
club, yeah.
Yeah, Wayside of Mount Pleasant. I went there with my cousin to hang out, and I happened to be wearing a Sanguisugabogg hoodie. So I was chilling, waiting for him to go grab some drinks, and I see 4 people come out of the men's bathroom, all wearing the same Vane FM hoodie.
Nice.
Lame.
I like Vane.
So do
I
I.
love Vane.
So do I.
Fleshwater too.
No blast
Yeah.
beats.
I like him.
Hella blast beats. What do you mean?
I don't know. I've never listened to them.
I was saying,
Live debate.
I was gonna say Vane's hard as fuck.
Yeah,
What are you
Vane's
talking
dope. But
I'm just
He's
talking.
got a
Yeah.
old soul, bro. His soul's from 1970.
yeah, this
bro.
dude is 20, but he speaks like a 45-year-old. But what is it? They all come out. They're wearing the Vane hoodies. Then they all like stopped and they pointed at me and they ran up to me and just all started talking at once, like, "Oh my god, Sanguisugabogg," you know. And then I was doing the same shit back to them about Vane. And then it turns out that all 4 of them were in this band called Kingslayer. And they're like, "You got to check us out, man. Are you in a band or anything?" And this was right like before we started. Like, we were still kind of talking about like, yeah, we're writing music. Like, we have nothing out though, but we're really thinking about it. So we kind of became mutuals after that. Then I introduced him to the boys, Mike per se, but yeah, per se. But yeah, after that, he's just been, you know, riding for us this entire time. They all showed up to our first show and everything. And yeah.
And Mike ended up making not really a record label, but it was kind of just like a group of a few bands that we're all real good friends with. And he made some CDs for everybody and stuff. And because he's a big hardcore dude, he was like, "Oh, we gotta have like this thing where we're all doing gang chants on one of my songs and stuff." And so like we did that, and then it turned into like a whole like 4 or 5-way split with just like all of our homies' bands. And so I think we were going to the studio to record for that split we did with Piss Leech, and we just ended up also tracking drums for Senseless Disgust too.
Okay. Now was this a live type recording for this one?
It was live drums, just like I'm pretty sure it was just like one drum take through the whole song.
Okay.
And then we just recorded the guitars and vocals at my apartment.
Okay. Yeah, I just noticed it was kind of weird because there was like a 9 seconds before the song even comes in. I was like, what is happening? Like I was like listening. I was waiting for an intro. I was waiting for a sample. I'm just like, wait, is there a song? And then I'm like, oh, okay, it finally came in. But
I just exported it wrong.
Oh, okay. No worries. There's just a 9-second so I just didn't know if it was like a 1, 2, 3, like kind of live type thing because
checking all the outputs, make sure your stuff's
yeah,
set up.
like what the fuck is going on here?
It gives you time to think before.
Yeah.
It was
Am
intentional.
I ready for this? I don't know.
Silence is the heaviest.
Do you really want to listen to this? Yes or no?
But I did. You got 9 seconds to think about it. Turning it off. Boy. So the vocals are absolutely sick on it. I could tell the evolution of the vocals and the groove on it. Just so pissy, man. And so there's like this yell type vocal on this one. Now, was that like you, Josiah, doing the vocals, or was someone else attributing? Because there was a different style of vocal on
throughout
this
like
one.
the whole song. It's me, but then towards like the end, with like the breakdown, that's like when like there's like the gang chant with like a bunch of other people, like our homies from like Self-Absorbed and stuff are on it. But yeah, throughout like that whole song, that's me doing the vocals.
Okay, cool.
He can do any style, man.
Oh yeah,
he's a savant.
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
well
vocals.
aware, and we're about to get into all the praise here pretty soon. So, and then you had mentioned the Piss Leech split, correct?
Yup.
And this was released September 27th, 2024, so just not too long ago. And then you said you recorded the drums at the same time as this one?
Yep. We recorded all that in like one big lump session because
it took
it's just
forever to
3
come
tracks.
out just because Piss Leech was like kind of taking a minute because
Ooh.
all 3 of them are, well, it's true because all 3 of them are in like different bands.
Yeah.
Their other
Great
bands are
bands.
bigger than
Great
Piss Leech. So it kind of just like, it just took time because, you know, it's not like a record label thing where it's like, oh, you have a contract, so now you need to release this thing. It's
Right.
like, you can just do it whenever because
Yeah.
we don't, it's not an obligation.
Right,
So.
correct. Yeah, so the song Involuntary Self-Decimation, now that is you guys, correct?
Yep.
Song was fucking sick, dude. I
Thanks,
love that
man.
song.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
was
thank
like,
you.
this is really where the evolution, like this is where I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to hear the band that I seen live,
Yeah.
right? Like, so that makes sense.
Right.
And then is it the Ravaging Entrails? Is that also you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he sings over it.
Yeah.
The other guy.
No, I just had to make it on streaming. I just had to make it say it was featuring them. Otherwise, it wouldn't like format as a split because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So it says that it's featuring Piss Leech, but it's not.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
like that.
Yeah, the only reason it's like I guess featuring them on that song is because there's a sample of the vocalist from Piss Leech
That's
like
true,
talking
yeah.
on it too.
Oh,
Just,
okay.
I'm Mr. Leech.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's just like one part in it. So I guess that counts as a feature, but not really.
See, but with that song, I thought it was different. Why I thought it might have been someone else because there was like a lot of vocals on that song, like way more. It was almost like he sang over every riff, and it was like that
Yeah.
low guttural toilet bowl scraping,
Mhm.
fucking Maytag fridge moving, just fucking that, just the fuck.
Yeah, we wanted
Put that on a shirt, bro.
since we were
Yeah.
playing. Since we were doing a split with Piss Leech, we wanted to like do something in that vein, kind of just
Okay.
more like gritty and slammy, more beat down. And it's like obviously like since it was like just for a split, it was just gonna be like a one time thing.
Yeah.
So we were just like, it'd be cool to just do like a straight up slam song,
okay.
just like as just like a one little like one time
Yep.
thing.
We were just
Okay.
dicking around for real, man.
I respect that. I just thought it was weird because the patterns themselves and everything just wasn't the same as everything else. That's why I thought it was the other guy.
Yeah.
Because I even put on there cool vocals, but not necessary. But
Yeah.
that's just me. I mean, if you ever listen to this show ever, I just always say 15% less vocals no matter what, because most dudes ruin all the songs with.
Well, I
too many
mean,
vocals.
yeah,
So-
I do agree. Oh,
Well-
because I did like the vocals like pretty much over the entire song.
yeah. And that's fine. And like I get it. If you're like, hey, I want to do a slam song, well, it kind of makes sense if you got to do the style that like it
Yeah.
pertains to, right? So it's just one of those things. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of vocals on that song. It's like over
Mhm.
the whole thing. So. All right, cool. And then now we're on to the album that we're going to talk about. Now this thing's going to come out the 15th of August, correct?
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Because I was watching a live video earlier, and you had said something about September. It was when you guys were playing in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
So
the
it
whole,
must have been like initially kind of what you thought then at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
yeah,
I
the
was-
whole like really like time frame for it was kind of like weird because we were originally gonna go through like Gurgling Gore to put it out, but then they couldn't do it. So then they were originally gonna have it like released at like the end of the year, like fall to like winter. Then we got in touch with like other labels and stuff, and then slowly like the release date just kept on like becoming more soon rather than later. So
Okay.
yeah, at that time, like they told us that it was gonna be like a September release, and then they hit us up like literally like a week later. It was like it's gonna be an August release.
Yeah.
Well, I seen something about like on your Facebook that you said this was recorded for a year though before.
Oh, yeah.
even-
Yeah.
right. So this was already in pocket.
Yeah,
Dude, some of the songs on the album were written like when we were writing that demo.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I also
some of
noticed
that.
there's 2 songs from the album that were on the actual demo
Yep.
too that you
Yep.
redid. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So we're gonna break this down. Just the YouTube description says the Michigan U.S. death metal newcomers have arrived with their debut album, For Those in Shallow Graves. 9 tracks across almost 40 minutes of putrid hard death akin to Church of Disgust, Gore Guts, and Disembowel. The debut single, Molded in Concrete, is streaming everywhere now. It says via Iron Fortress Records, your home for glorifying death metal.
Oh yeah.
God damn, man. I was looking at the Iron Fortress like Bandcamp and site and stuff.
Badass,
There
dude.
is
So
so
awesome.
much. I was like, I was almost taken back and overwhelmed with the amount of bands that was on there. It's like, holy shit, this like opens a whole new door of like 1,000 bands that these
Yeah.
guys are
Yeah.
somehow associated with. You're like, holy shit, there's even more bands than I even thought there was. So I was kind of like broken. Or I was just like taken back
Yeah.
from it. I was like, holy shit, man.
That label is like relatively new, and I would say probably the best underground death metal label in the States. I mean, dude, just any band that I've ever liked has at some point, any newer band I've ever liked has at some point had a release through them or has been associated with them somehow. And it's all just one dude. It's just the dude Ben. Shout out to Ben, man. He's
Mhm.
just fucking grinding every single day. I mean, he's got Iron Fortress distributing tapes and CDs and all that. He's got Death Relic merch, which is a bunch of like horror merch and stuff. And then he's got another one that's like kind of a combination of both, but just other stuff, you know?
yeah,
I
he has
mean,
that. What is it? It's like Blood Domain or whatever.
Blood
it's like
Domain.
the hardcore like metalcore division of Iron Fortress.
and it's all one dude. I mean, that guy's got to be just cracked the fuck out 24/7, just fucking putting
Hustling,
out bands,
yeah.
dude. I mean, it's crazy.
So Malakai, now were you aware of Iron Fortress before you guys was aware? So was that like a good selling point for you too then, because you were already aware of the label?
Dude, he's got like probably 15 of my paychecks in his pockets right now. Dude. I buy stuff from there monthly at least.
Well, that's cool as shit, man.
Yep.
So just for me, overall review, we'll probably break this down track by track if you guys are cool with that. But to me, just my first initial thoughts, it sounds awesome. Obviously, the newest thing, so it sounds the best.
Right.
I wrote, it's like live, but not overproduced. Like you still have that grit of the death metal, and there's that old school vibe in there. It's not straight to the grid. Everything's replaced. You feel this live vibe over the everything, and I really like that. I also put, I'm glad you guys have this and it's going to be out and it represents you guys now, because the other stuff, it's cool or whatever, it's your evolution. But I feel like the band that Nick and I got to see is now finally represented on record. And I think this, like, if I'm like, dude, check out Decedent, this is fucking banger shit. Like, if you want the more raw, like where they started, you can go back and listen to that. But I'm gonna hand you this, and like you guys should be proud of this.
I think that's how we feel about it too. It's like it's finally like a good capturing of what we sound like.
Right.
Yeah, because we be playing like shows with like so many like good bands that we look up to, and it's like, fuck, the only stuff we have out is like these two shitty.
So what we saw at Rake, we were immediately fans. Like I was like, dude, talk to one of these guys. We gotta have these guys on the show. They hit hard. And then I listened to the new album, and I was like, well, that's exactly what I just saw a couple months back. What was it, March or something like that? But I was like, so I'm agreeing with Jay. Like, it's a very good representation of what I heard and saw live. And like, because live, I could hear the bass. I could see you getting down. I could actually hear the bass, and you weren't doing anything over the top. You weren't doing the flashy look at me bass lines, but you just knew your role.
Fuck
You didn't have to like shred on it or anything. It just like every note was punching. I was like, oh God, a fucking bass player that knows what to do. Like just like right where he needed to be. You drop out for a minute or two, and you just hear him, and I'm like, and fucking getting it, like just confident. I felt that on the album too. Bass tone, dirty and gritty. Fucking love it. Like as a bass player, I'm like, just fucking have the tone.
Yeah.
Just you don't have to do special shit. You don't have to be an acrobat on the instrument.
Steve DiGiorgio all the time.
There's not a lot of room for that in this style of music. Like it's cool if you're that good on the bass, and it's nice to have that skill set if you want, and you can play other styles if you want.
But your main role is vibes.
Yeah, you're really just bringing a whole level of energy and depth and punch to the band. Like for all you're gonna do on the guitar, that's great, but you want him to thicken up the sound and have a really solid tone.
I think that's why we work so well, is because I mean he's a great guitar player, and I could never keep up with that, and so I think it worked out really well how we fell into our roles, because now I can let him just be the fucking crazy guitar player he is, and I can just vibe out and spend 2 hours at Anthony's mom's house just fucking twisting my dials trying to make my shit sound cool, and then and then we're good to go,
And you want a bassist that brings that attitude.
Yeah, and I think that's good, because you're not like trying to outcompete with what Anthony's doing with all the different drums and stuff, or like when Josiah's busted into more technical type thing. And sometimes, like Nick was saying, like the bass player has to know the role. If you grew up on Steve DiGiorgio, maybe you're like, yeah, I want to solo over all this shit. And it's like, that's not necessarily, especially not in this kind of death metal that you guys are doing. Like you just need that impactful one note hanging out and fucking blistering you and feeling that in your chest, just like fuck, that's what you fucking.
It's all about
sometimes,
serving the song, rather than just
bro.
trying to like show off. It's like it's gotta sound good and feel good. Like if you're doing like flashy guitar shit, but it doesn't sound good with the rest of the song, and it's like take that part out.
Yeah,
like,
what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, exactly. So just a few more notes before we really dive into this. The guitar tones on this are absolutely fucking sick. Like, I love the guitar tone, especially like comparing it, because I just compared everything, because I listened to everything in one swoop. So just being able to capture this guitar tone, I was like, man, the guitars sound great on it. You guys have a great way through all of your songs of like, you be playing a riff, and either you progress the riff, or Anthony might just change the beat. It's the same riff. Anthony changes the beat, and it just makes it that much more impactful. Whether you go into a groove, or you might even go the other way and go into like a blast or something where you're playing the same riff. And I just love how, I know a lot of music's like that, but you guys make really good choices in that way.
Thanks, man.
I already said at the beginning, badass for a 3-piece. I think one of the most could be underrated things, and you spoke to this earlier, Malakai. Your vocals are fucking awesome on this, dude.
Yes.
Thank you,
They're
man.
fucking awesome.
Thank you, bro.
I can really tell the growth on this with the layering and the different types of vocals, because you don't just do one guttural low or one toilet bowl or one, you kind of switch it up a lot. And for playing guitar and what you're playing and keeping it all together, like, I don't think the vocals should not be mentioned on this, because you do a fantastic job of the vocals.
Thank
on
you,
this,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can just completely tell the difference to the old shit. And it even inspires an old guy like me, you young guys out there hustling and grinding, like seeing you do it, like it inspires me. I'm like, man, I need to go write some shit today.
Hell
because
yeah.
These guys
Fuck yeah.
make me want to slam some shit. So
Hell yeah.
That young blood.
yeah. And it was kind of cool because I don't know if you guys are aware. I don't even know if we're supposed to talk about this or what, but we actually got my band. I play in a band called Iron Sharpens Iron.
Mhm.
And we're actually playing with you guys in November, it seems like, with
No
World
way.
of Malice and something.
Oh, yeah,
Damn.
Yeah.
When's that? Or where's that at?
It's going to be like I think it's on the east side somewhere or something.
Yeah,
But
Was it Austin who booked that? I think.
With
because he's seen
Yotuma?
us. Yeah, the guy seen us at Mulligan's, and he was talking to Larry, our singer, and he was like, "You guys are fucking sweet. I want to put you on this show." And it happened to be with you guys, and I think
Yeah, it's gonna be at Trixie's.
yeah. So you guys, World of Malice, us, and so it's kind of cool. I get to jam with you guys.
Yeah, that's
That's
tight,
gonna
man.
be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
My bad. I didn't even know.
It's in the show notes, Mac.
Okay, I gotta look at that.
That's at Trixie's too.
Well, I'm
miss
glad I could teach you
Trixie's.
something today, there, Malakai. Hopefully
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
So let's get into this. I guess I will just say the only thing that kind of because you sent me the Google Drive link, right?
Yep.
The only bad thing about the Google Drive link, and I should have asked, but I didn't want to keep bugging you guys either. But I was like, what is the actual order of the songs?
Yep.
Because I wanted to take it
Oh, I
in
didn't
from
think
beginning
about
to
that.
end, because there's an interlude, there's an intro. Obviously, the intro goes first. After that, I didn't know where the fuck we were going,
Yeah.
so I just
Yeah.
listened to songs by song on an individual basis. But I'm sure once it's a record, it has a flow to it. You guys
Yeah,
have an
yeah.
idea, and I should have asked, because that's the way I like to listen to shit. I ain't even tried to hear your single, like, not to be a dick. And like, I hope everybody listens to my band's single, because it's just a single that we just put out. We just put out 3 singles, or we're just putting out one and one and one, and then we're gonna do an album in the fall. But I want to hear the whole fucking album. So I
I'm
knew
the
you were
same
coming out
way.
with an album, and I
Yeah.
seen the Molded in Concrete came out. I was like, nope, I'm waiting until I hear the whole fucking thing. So
Right.
you know, I just like taking
yeah.
in albums, but that's just the way
Yeah.
we've always grown up. I mean, I'm putting on individual thought patterns, and I'm listening from song 1 to song end, to
Yeah.
the philosopher. So
Yeah.
but obviously the intro goes first. Can you tell me just a little bit about the idea of to have like an instrumental intro to
Vibes.
start the
Yeah.
track
We
or album?
we kind of like there's like it's not really like a specific reason, but there's a lot of bands that like I listen to where like you just press start and it just fucking pummels you like as soon as you press play, and it's just like just riffs. Like I guess it's not like an intro, but it's a song off of Vile by Cannibal Corpse. I forgot what it is, but it's like not even that. It's an instrumental track. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
I thought the actual first one was Quartz Grinder.
The old
Let me pull it up.
4 hits on the snare.
Yep. Never fails, man.
That's fucking death metal right there, buddy.
Stop loading, but yeah, it's just like an instrumental track. It's like 2-3 minutes long, but it's just
I know
fucking
what you're
riffs
talking about.
over and over again.
Yeah. So that was kind of the idea behind it, and you said vibes, Malakai.
Set
just
the
to kinda-
tone, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I just thought it would just be really cool. Like, we all just thought it would be really cool just to start it, just like, damn, these are dope riffs,
You're right.
and then the album starts.
Yeah, and that's actually my note. I thought the riffs were sick. I love when the drums went almost like in the halftime, like when you kind of what I alluded to earlier when you're playing that riff, and then Anthony just changes the beat behind it and just makes it so much heavier. It's like really sweet. And then I didn't actually have any notes for the song Beaten Behind Bars, but it was a great song. I also noticed you guys' songs 4 minutes, 4:39, 4:53,
Oh, yeah.
5:33.
Yeah.
little bit longer.
Can you tell me a little bit about that approach, just as overall lengthwise?
It's fun having long songs. Just put as much shit in them as possible, you know?
And yeah, just like, I mean, a song length has never like really concerned me too much, just because like I feel like if a song's good, then like it doesn't really matter how long it is. Like even if a song's like 13 minutes long, if like all 13 minutes of it is fire, I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
So like,
Some
It's
black
just-
braid.
yeah, it just like happens to just be that long. Like we'll like write songs and like like Flies on a Corpse, when we initially wrote it was like 6, almost 7 minutes long. And we were like, okay, it sounds like good, but like there's definitely a lot of parts we were just repeating parts just to repeat it. So we just trimmed the fat. Yeah. It's all about just making the song sound good.
Now it's only 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Got a lot of shit out.
So that's okay. The reason why I asked that, we've talked about length before on the show, but it's funny because we've had some reviews of our new single, and like 2 of the guys had said, but Larry only sent it to like hardcore dudes, like, and we have hardcore parts in our music, but like a lot of the guys were like, well, it's over 4 minutes long. I'm like, 4 minutes ain't that long for a song.
Yeah,
I'm like, any metal dude you'd send it to, they'd be like, why is that so short?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so like, when
metal dudes are like, okay, hold my beer, watch my 7-minute song.
Yeah. When a hardcore kid sees a song's longer than 3 minutes,
yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck that.
and that's where it was. I was trying to tell Larry, he's like, maybe we should shorten our stuff. I'm like, well, if you just send it to hardcore dudes, they want 3 minutes. That's what they want. You know, that's just the way it is. Like, we have like a lot of like death metal elements and metal elements too, so that's where you get a 4-minute song from. I'm not gonna cut the cool parts of the song to appease a couple of hardcore dudes that have a YouTube channel, you know? Right. Like you said, what's best for the song?
It's like, oh, dude, this song sounds really good, but it's not 2 minutes long. Yeah. We need to shorten it.
Yeah. And we live in the TikTok era anyway, so everybody only wants 10 seconds of a song.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, on to the next thing, whatever, you know. So, but I'm just gonna go in the order that I have here. So you got Cataclysmic Dome. Now, Asterix, you guys redid this from the original demo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, the artificial harmonic riff on this is nasty as shit. Like how it like ascends on it, or you kind of like change it as it changes into the next part. You know what I'm talking about? You kind of
it's a cool transition.
You kind of go higher or whatever. Super cool, man. And the outro riff on this is great. Can you tell me a little bit about the decision to redo this particular song?
When we were like jamming it, I think it was like when we were like still writing the album, we liked how like we still really liked the song, but we weren't too happy with how it turned out on the first EP. So we like knew like the potential that it had to be like super heavy with like the right production and stuff. So that's pretty much just what we did. We just changed like some of like the drum parts a little bit, and then maybe changed up like some of the stuff, but overall it's pretty much the same song. We just wanted it to sound better overall. That's pretty much like the decision to redo it.
Okay. I thought it was a great song to redo. I mean, I liked it. I had some notes for that, but I didn't really want to, because that was the demo, right? So I didn't really want to go through the notes, especially because the 2 songs that I really had notes on are were ones that you had redone. So I figured we could talk about it. Now, this one you definitely play live.
Yeah.
Because I specifically remember this one at Rake after I listened to it. I was like, okay, I heard this song before. I definitely know that, you know. Sometimes I get that recall.
That's kind of our hot to go, you know. That's our bread and butter.
Hell yeah. Right. It's a dope song though. So, and then this is Flies on a Corpse.
Yep.
About 155, there's a groove in there. And then there's like this long ass scream. And then the repeats, and then the vocal, like you do it again, and then you do that long scream again, but you like double the vocal, you like layer it like the second time. It's on like the first time. So I just picked up on that. I thought it was super cool. And then you guys kind of got your little 2-stepper riff in that.
Oh yeah,
you got your little hardcore, making sure motherfuckers can dance a little bit on that. And absolutely love the riffs on this song.
Thank you.
And then Rotted Redeemer, so another redo.
That's probably my favorite on the album.
Okay.
Me too.
So good.
I also noticed this was a smidge longer than the one that was on the EP.
It's a little slower.
Yeah, so you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was pretty much like the same thing, like with Cataclysmic. We knew like the potential that it had. And the fucking guitar solo on the original one sucked so bad.
He hated that thing.
It's so booty buns. So we just I just redid it, and it sounds fucking really good in my opinion. I'm really happy we redid it.
Yep.
So you got the little skank beat with the bell on there. That had a little 2-stepper in there too, almost like kind of upbeat thing. Cool. I heard them sweeps in there, so don't think I did not hear that. And then
it's got to show off somewhere.
Yeah. So, and that was obviously different than the original. The original, I was like almost kind of just like a lot, like a real slow, one-notey melody type thing over it.
Like that's like the thing with death metal solos is like I could like write riffs for days, but I could not figure out how to do like a death metal type solo, especially with no whammy bar. Like if I wanted just to cop out and just do a bunch of dive bombs, I could have, but my guitar doesn't have that, so I actually had to sit there and write a solo. And I've never done anything like that before for that, so that's why it ended up just sounding like really weird and like not like chromatic in a cool way, just like really shitty.
And that wasn't even the first one. He
Yeah.
re-recorded that solo, or like rewrote that solo
in
too.
the middle of like actually recording it.
Yeah.
Not this
Yeah,
newer one, but
yeah.
when
It
we
was really
originally-
half-assed for the demo because I had something completely different. I came in to record it and I realized I didn't like it. So then I was like, give me a minute. And then I just like reworked it and then recorded it and I still didn't like it. So
That whole drive home, he was just like so depressed about it. He was
I was like, man, I don't know if it's gonna sound
So how much rework went into the new solo, the current solo? What how much time are we spending on writing that now?
I for that one I kind of just like I knew like even from like the get-go I knew like what it sounded like in my head. I just didn't have like the skills to actually do it. So like when I went to like actually redo it for the album, I knew like what I actually like what were like the techniques involved to like do it. So it was pretty much like already just written in my head. I just had to like just put it out on guitar.
Okay. So we really had to level up first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You did a terrific job on it too.
Thank you.
Nice.
Can I sip your water? Thanks, bro.
I would say if you want
Get
another
the
one, I can get you
basis
another one.
cooties on your water
I
bottle.
call my assistant. So and then there's like this really cool grind, like on the outro. Really like that on that song. And then moving on, Sleepaway Camp.
Badass.
Dude, your
Love that one.
high vocals on this are absolutely fantastic. Loved
Thank
it.
you.
And then you got kind of like this cool pig vocal around 130, and this was just kind of the variation I was telling you about how I picked up on all these little nuances where you could easily just do one vocal since you're just playing the guitar and singing at the same time. But I like how you challenged yourself and really grew your vocal capacity on this. So
Thank you.
moving on to Smoke Flesh. And if there's anything you guys want to talk about more about these songs, I'm just telling you the few notes and the little things I
Yeah.
picked up. So if there's anything more you want to expound on, feel free to jump in.
Is the lyrical content based on the movie Sleepaway Camp?
It is.
Mhm.
Look, that was
Yeah, not like the way that I was writing the lyrics, I couldn't like figure out how to like make it exactly like mention like characters or anything from the movie. So I just took the idea of it about like just going to like a summer camp and then getting killed by another camper.
Yeah.
That was just like the idea, and then I couldn't think of a title like better than like Sleepaway Camp. So
It's kind of better to do it that way because, for one, you don't really want to be taking your art from somebody else's art, but it's
Yeah.
always fun to reference and say, well, the idea of that movie is the idea of this song, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you the plot of the movie.
Yeah,
Because I don't need you to review the movie for
Yeah,
me in your song. I think it's
yeah.
fair to just say, yeah, that movie's sick, and I wanted to write, it's so good, and I loved it so much, I wanted to write a song referencing it.
yeah, pretty
But,
much.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get into like telling the
Yeah.
retelling the story.
Could you imagine if all
Yeah.
the lyrics it was like, me and my sister, we went to the summer camp.
It's like, there's definitely a way you could do it if you got like a flow down, but
Yeah.
like I think like the best way is to just kind of make it not like vague, but just like not just like super hardcore, just like referencing the movie.
Right.
And if you wanted to, you could sample a really cool piece of dialogue from
Yeah.
it or something.
Yeah, I also feel like it's kind of got that, what we always talk about, the water cooler thing. You've heard of Sleepaway Camp if you're familiar with any kind of
Yeah.
horror or,
Yeah.
just any of that genre. So it kind of sticks, and just knowing you guys as band, you kind of already know what it's about anyway. Like,
Yeah.
look at your other titles. It's not really about like a fun time you had at camp one time.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think when I sent that to you, I didn't tell you, but that song's featuring Sam from Dawn of Agony on it too.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they've been on the show before.
Yeah,
Those are the
he does
homies.
a cool little verse on it. He be rapping.
Yup. Corpses.
Corpses.
So then we go to Smoke Flesh. This is actually probably my favorite track out of the whole album.
It's
Yeah,
nuts.
I love it.
So the opening riff, absolutely fantastic. Love the bass breaks on this. The panic chord riff that then you kind of switch to the on the hi-hat
Yeah.
and the kick drum. Like,
Mhm.
dude, that is fucking phenomenal. And
Thank
then
you,
like
thank
you go to the single string riff before the harmonic riff. It's just like the low. You're just kind of playing
Oh, yeah.
one stringy at the
Mhm.
end or whatever. Super cool. This was the one that you guys played at the Music Cafe in Minneapolis or whatever.
Mhm.
So I actually watched
Mhm.
that. That was pretty sweet. You guys pulled that off awesomely, man.
Thank
Thank
you.
Those are videos of that show?
Like a couple.
That
Oh,
one
no
was the
way.
only one I came across.
Oh, okay.
But Josiah actually posted on the Facebook page because you guys only have Instagram.
Yeah, we
You don't have Facebook.
we used to have a Facebook page, but like
I fucked it up.
it
for
got all like
everybody.
fucked up with just like login shit. So now we just don't use Facebook
Fuck
anymore.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Plus, a lot of our fans are like our age, and they don't.
So they're on
use, like,
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense completely. Yeah, I get that.
I only did the Facebook for my mom, and she doesn't care anymore. So
For me, I like when bands have Facebooks just because of the fact that when you post all those pictures and shit on there, I can steal those pictures
Yeah.
and use them
Yep.
for
Laser
the
down.
clips and all that shit because I can't download shit from Instagram, so that
Right.
kind of puts me in a bad
Right.
spot when I'm trying to create content.
Yeah.
But other than that, I get it. Like
Yeah, I
fucking
get it. I gotta
Facebook's
go
for
over-
old people, you know.
Yeah, we're old. I gotta
It's
go.
for us, dude.
I gotta go over to your Instagram page to steal your flyers, but I can't download them, so I gotta screen cap them. I feel like a thief. I'm like, oh, I hope you guys don't mind that I'm like taking from their Instagram and
Right.
sharing them on our Facebook.
It's all
but-
good.
Also,
And also, I just doom scroll the fuck out of Facebook, and I do Instagram too, but like way less. It just doesn't capture me as much. But I'll shit post the fuck on Instagram. I'll just be like shit posting nonstop.
Yeah.
But I'll like,
in.
reposting memes.
but yeah,
Oh,
I'll steal your shit from Instagram and slap it up on Facebook just so that
That's
the
real.
old heads can go out and see you guys perform because they should.
Yeah,
we love the unks.
I already
That's
just
us,
like
boy.
I already just like share like all like the shit that we do on my own Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like at least some people will be able to see it.
Yeah.
Like,
he has
people
like
that are-
7,000 friends on Facebook, so it's pretty. It works.
Yeah, bro, I'm friends with Devin Swank.
Yeah, everybody.
Mr. Bleeding
Um,
profusely.
And then the interlude. I mean, I know we already talked about most of it, but tell me a little bit about the interlude. Is
He made it.
interesting to me.
This dude.
I overpowered their vote to not have one, and I made it, and it's cool. No, I'm just kidding. They wanted one too, but I don't know. All like a lot of cool records just have like cool like 2 or 3 minutes of just some bullshit that like most people skip, and then like 1 out of 10 nerds like myself will just be like, oh, this is like my favorite track on here, and it's just like
Dungeon
synths,
synth,
Yeah. And that's how I am, and so I make that kind of stuff all the time at my
Okay,
house, and
cool.
so I just made one of those, and they were like, yeah, that's cool, we should put it on there, and so
Hell
we
yeah.
put it
Plus,
on there.
it just makes an album feel
Yeah.
bigger too.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
it ties it
Spaces,
together.
yeah,
you
Like
know?
if there's like
Big
an interlude,
Lebowski.
like a score that's like made for it, like that's like obviously not like death metal, then I think it's just like cooler. Like whether it's like synth or like even when like metalcore bands or deathcore bands did like the acoustic tracks back in the
Yeah.
day,
Yep.
it's like it just makes it feel like an album.
Sets
Yeah.
the vibe.
It's
Yeah.
also like a
It's
good
all about vibes.
little intermission, somewhere to
Yeah.
chill out.
Yep.
And then I
Little
like
smoke break.
at the
Yeah.
end of that too, how it flows into the next track.
Yeah,
'Cause
Right.
It
Yeah.
brings you back into it. And then even just kind of like listening to the transition, you're just like, oh, we're back. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
And that Nick and I go ahead, buddy.
I was just gonna ask
You're going to
Malakai.
say the same exact thing I was going to say. probably.
Probably a couple of things, but first, you're always tinkering with these sorts of sounds already. Was this one
24/7.
so? Was this one specifically written for the album, or did you kind of pinch from what you already had?
Kind of both. Like I was actively like trying to make an interlude that I thought would be cool for the album,
Mhm.
but it was like I was making like 10 or 15 of them a week
Mhm.
or whatever, and I was just like,
Prolific.
eventually I just got to that one,
Okay.
But
Okay.
I don't know. I do a lot of like brain rot, but like on the computer making synth stuff. Like I'll sit there. My girlfriend gets so mad at me, man. I'll sit there for 3 hours just like pushing one note on a MIDI keyboard and just like twisting knobs and stuff. And
He'll doubt himself so hard. Dude. Like he'll send you like the hardest shit that he's made, and he'll be like, I don't know, I think it needs a lot of work. It's like, no, bro, like this is good.
I'll be like at work listening to it. I'm like, God, I gotta fucking do something with my life.
Yeah, that is the when you're producing stuff like that, because I used to produce a lot of hip hop stuff. I don't make as many beats anymore, but I have all that shit too, the contact and all that different sounds and all that production elements. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you make something, you're like, this is sick as fuck. You listen to it the next day and you're like, what the fuck was
Yeah.
I on? This is terrible, man.
Listening
And
to the
that's-
beat at 3 a.m. versus
Yeah.
11 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. When you put it in the car, you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they add
fails the car
the
test.
instrumental or the interlude track in there because Jay and I come from that era where whether it's an acoustic track or an instrumental track, It does break the album up nicely. It gives it a nice little pause or a breath, if you will, before you roll into the next heavy track.
Mhm.
But also, to your point, Malachi, like you just said, you're the nerd that wanted it on the album. You got to write the music that you want to hear.
Exactly.
Like if you want to put out like 8 banging songs and you're like, that's fucking sick, but then you want 2 other tracks to space those out, well, that's even better because now you have a little bit of a breath, a little bit of a buildup from the intro into the first song, and then you hear about 4 or 5 bangers and just face melters, and then you're like, okay, I need a breath. Throw in the interlude, and a lot of great albums, as you already stated, they do that. So
Exactly.
it's just
And
taking a good idea and running with it.
I can't even count the amount of times that the 3 of us, like, there's been an album that comes out from a band we all like, and the 3 of us are on the way to a show or something, and we just like throw it on, and it's almost like those little breaks in the album are like there as like conversation space. If you're listening to it socially, you know, I mean, like we'll do that all the time. We'll listen to a new album and it'll have that track, and like you can kind of turn it down a little bit and be like, yo, this is super dope. I like this and this. And I'll be shitting on it and making fun of it. And they'll be like, you're so dumb for that. And it's awesome. And then the next song comes on and you turn it back up. And it's just like an overall good mood, you know, to have that.
Yeah, it was really reminiscent of like Frozen Soul. They kind of do that with the little stuff in between, or like a Fulci. They do that like
Fulcis
with the
are
little
awesome.
The
synth
goats.
weird stuff. I know Mod wasn't a fan of that, but I kind of like the weird synth. It's like when you're talking about the metalcore and the acoustic or the old school death metal, you have them acoustic intros and all that stuff. It kind of blends right with the record, but sometimes when you have this like all of a sudden hit of this weird synth. There's no other synth in the whole record. You're like, what the fuck is this synth thing? Like, you know, but I like that. I love that about the Fulci and the Frozen Soul. I'm just like, it's so different that it really breaks it up. Instead of like, if I go into this acoustic thing that's almost the same chord structure of the song previous to make it flow, that's fun and all, but all of a sudden when you hit me with all right, the break is right here.
Yeah.
Right. And especially too, just being like such big fans of like old school horror movies. And like each song is just like
Fuck that guy.
each song is just like about pretty much just horror topics, just like different ways dying and shit, just like that. I feel like the synthy like almost 80s style like theme is like it really like fits with like the topics and everything.
It's definitely kind of like a big homage to all that type of stuff, like all the 80s horror tracks and everything, especially with like Fulci. They'll have like the samples in the background of the movies and everything.
Zombie.
Even like Sanguisugabogg on what's
Tortured Hole.
Yeah, Tortured Hole.
Yeah, like pornographic and shit. Interlude.
Yeah, they have 2 synth breaks in theirs.
Those are great. I love them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, and then I think the only one we haven't covered is the actual single "Molded in Concrete." This is out now, so you can listen to this before this album comes out. Will be this Friday when you guys are listening to this podcast. Absolutely love the 250. There's like this strum bridge part where you're like, so that really showed some dynamics, because I feel like sometimes you can get lost in our style of music, this style of extreme metal, where there isn't a lot of dynamics to it. That's where them breakups happen, or even the stops where the bass just comes in, or just the drum hits the bell. You guys kind of do that. Sometimes that is the dynamic we have. And then when you do the more strumming part, instead of just you know, or like
noises,
that gives it a little more of the dynamics of music that sometimes we're looking for. So you guys got a good way, whether it's intentional or not intentional. It's a great way to show that. Then it goes into almost like, this is where I would say I do see a little Chuck influence with that one riff you go into where it's like,
oh yeah,
and it's kind of a weird timing. Is that an actual 4/4? Because you start blasting over it, and then you add in like the last few, then you do a little trickier. You do like a trill thing on the you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Now is that in 4/4?
Yeah,
that one sounds weird. Like I was trying to count it both times I listened to it, and it seemed like it was with, kind of escaping me
with
a
the
little
click
bit.
tracks that we use. They were kind of like almost progressing or degressing. Like it would go into something. So what I'd hear in my headphones when I'd be playing to a click, like it started with that section before that, like the little like afterbirth kind of sounding one. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4. But then it would kind of like gradually go up, like that, and then it's just kind of like, all right, well, I come in right here, but I also kind of like speed it up a little bit.
Oh, okay. That makes
There's
sense.
a couple parts on the
I think
record
it's
that are like that.
4/4, but it throws you off because the riff accents weird spots in the count, you know?
Yeah, in
It's
order
like,
to like fit over the drums.
Dan,
Right.
but winning,
Yeah,
you know.
but it's 4/4 because like yeah.
Yeah, that made sense. I was just trying to count the notes, and I'm like, man, that almost seems like that's a 6, and then a 3, and then a 3, because I was just following the notes, and I was like,
It's
but
weird.
it worked. It didn't sound weird or anything.
We're in our prog era.
Yeah. No, that riff is fucking awesome, dude. Because to me, it's completely different than anything else you have on the record. Like that one
Changes it
stands
up.
out by itself, you know. And then at the end, you guys slimed it up, nice and juicy. Some
Always gotta.
harmonics there. And then there's like this weird end vocal noise where you're like,
That's
the
Alistair
track, right?
Cowboy.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Gurgly.
yeah, so you just got a little gurgly on me at the end, but that was kind of fun. But
Silly.
it's a now. What was the reason why you picked that song for the single?
It's like for like the track list, it's the first song after the intro. So we thought like since it has like a one of our homies featuring on it from Alistair Cowboy, it would be cool since it's also like the first song on the album just to like have it as a single. So like when you do listen to the album, if you don't want to listen to the single or that you already listened to, then you could just like skip it and then go to the rest of it.
Okay, that's fair. And also, I guess the way this works in our streaming world, once you guys get this album, like I'm sure it's already up or whatever, but like once apparently you'll get the streams already that you've already streamed for that. It'll already count on your album.
Oh,
You realize
badass.
that?
Sweet.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know about that.
Yeah, so well, if you do that and it's associated with the album, all the streams that everybody already listened to, just the single right now or whatever, those will already be your numbers when
So
the
as-
album will get streamed.
As soon as the
So,
album drops, you guys already have a couple hundred plays, so people
Yeah.
will be like,
1,000 or whatever.
yeah,
you
people are
have,
listening to it. It must be good. So it's
That'll be
to-
good
Hell
for the
yeah.
dopamine.
So that's a good look
Let's
too when you
go.
do like that, you know. So at least
Yeah,
our
business.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, all right, cool. What else? Is there anything else you guys want to say about the record?
Listen to it when it comes out, and if you don't like it, then I'm sorry.
we tried our best.
If you're watching, listening to the show, and listen to the show or watching the show, and then you listen to this album and you don't like it, you might be watching the wrong
Yeah,
show.
I don't think you really like metal.
Yeah, you shouldn't
Might
be
be
listening to metal.
Yeah, but so recorded Furniture City Soundworks. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
Ben
That's
and
the
Mike.
homies.
Yep.
That's our friends in No Refuge and Motion
Sick.
Sick, and they're just good friends of ours, and they're trying to kind of start up their little studio. You know, they've got some bands going through there, so they gave us a pretty good deal, and we just hunkered down at his place for like, I don't know, like 3 days and played Fortnite and recorded and shit and got it out of the way. It was fun. They're good friends of ours, so it was like a really chill time there, you
It
know.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's
Just
definitely a
hanging out
much
with
like
homies.
professional setting too, because they actually had like a full like computer monitor set up where like they do all like the recording and editing and shit. And we've never recorded to like a click track before that for like Decedent. It was all just like basically free balling it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So that was like the first time, at least like for me, where like all of us like could actually lock in for like a project instead of just recording whatever comes out, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole experience was really cool, and they're good as fuck with like producing, because like
Yeah,
like
they're
he said,
crazy.
they have a band called Motion Sick, which is like a pop punk band, and for like that style of music, it's like very clean and like very precise sounding. So like they're really dialed in with what they do, and they also like produce like rap and shit. So they're really like dialed in with producing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it sounded good. Now, to kind of go back what I alluded to earlier, you know, sometimes death metal is on this, especially now, this technicality on grid. Everything's perfect. Every sound is replaced. But you guys got this rawness to you, which I think fits well with this style because, like I said at the beginning of the show, what style of band you guys are, and this kind of new school but old school death metal sound. That's kind of where you guys are at. Now, was that the sound that you wanted out of the record?
It's pretty intentional, yeah. Because, I mean, dude, like death metal's just boring if it's like super sterilized and all that. So I think when we sent it over to our buddy Scott to like mix it and stuff, like we were pretty clear, I think, on like keep it don't crisp it up too much, you
Right.
know, just make it sound cool.
Because if the music's ugly, then like it's like because like the production's like the music is like what you're saying, and like the production's like pretty much how you're saying it.
Yeah.
So like if you got like death metal, but it's like coming out like really clean, then it's not gonna be extreme at all. Like it has to like the guitars have to be like super gritty, the drums have to sound more raw and like roomy. It's like the production is like a lot of people don't realize, but production is like super important to death metal.
Yeah.
And like people are just like, oh, I don't care, I'll listen to whatever. And it's like, okay, say that when you throw on like a fucking Ingested album and like the drums are triggered as fuck and you don't like it.
Yeah.
It's a grimy style of music, so it needs to sound grimy.
And to me, there's a fine line there because, like, there's a band like Devourment. I could never get into those guys because it just sounds like somebody stuck a potato in the room and hit record. Like, I can't do it. Like, because there's so much going on. I need a little something. Like, I get the aesthetic of like it's got to sound nasty, but when it just sounds like a wall of white noise, as Nick alludes to sometimes, it's not even worth the spin to me. Like, just to be like, I'm so metal, I can trudge through this 40 minutes of dog shit. Like, let's be honest here, you know, like we're still doing some shit on guitar and drums, so I still need to hear all that bell work you're doing, you know. So it's a fine line, and then you got like the true purist guys that are just like, yeah, it's got to sound like dog shit, you know. No.
That's the basement black metal shit.
Yeah, and that's now black metal. That's a completely different thing. They did that so nobody will listen to the shit, but you know, or only the truest cult will listen to it. But
dude, there's some bands that have like blown up just because of their production. Like Final Resting Place. I mean, like they're taking like the same riffs that have been around for so long, same song structure, everything, and it's just like the production is it's just so satisfying that everybody listens to it because of that. Like it's kind of a good testament to how important it is to like have an intentional
because like nowadays like production is almost like the most important part with like extreme metal because like everything's been done. It's like if like there's an album that comes out that has really good production, then it's probably gonna blow up just for how like good it sounds. Whereas like opposed to like back in the day, a band could release like a shitty sound album, but the music is so innovative to where like everyone would like it, you know.
So my take from it is when you're a 3-piece band, so there's no keyboards unless you're saying we're doing the backing track, right? But you're not that style of band, so you fill the sound with a little bit more of that static and grit and dirt in your tones. Whereas you get into a band like one of my favorites is Rivers of Nile. Well, you're a 4-piece band, but you sound like 6 because you got the backing track going nonstop. You got the saxophone. You're basically a 5-piece because you got the saxophone on like half the album.
Right.
So there's a different approach to the production. Now we want polish. Now we want clean, refined, compressed, all of that, whatever. But with you guys, you're kind of like this meat tank rolling out, just dirty, grimy, and you fill in the space with the tones and the distortion.
Noise is good.
Yeah, and more organic sounding. And that's the way that you fill the space without having the backing tracks. And that's the way it comes through on the album, and that's the way you're going to get it live.
Yep.
And it's important to know that about yourself is like, hey, we don't do keyboards. We don't do, like, I mean, unless it's the interlude, right? Like
Never live, though.
Yeah, and then that's whatever live. So that you could just sit there and tune and let people talk over it and drink their beers or whatever. But when you're the style of band that you are, you have to have that self-awareness that, yeah, it's got to sound raw and dirty. I don't want crisp, clean, polished on my album because that's not the album I'm writing.
Yeah.
And I think you guys did a great job. I listened to it the whole time. Fucking dirty. The whole fucking time. It was gritty.
That's what his vocals sounded like actually before they mixed it and stuff. It was just like,
plus, we also get away with it live a little bit more too, because like considering like how gritty this like music can be, like live, like my guitar could be like my tone could be like so shitty, but like since this music is already like gritty and not like too many people are probably gonna say anything.
People
about
just
it.
headbang because they know the vibe.
Yeah,
they don't care. Like, dude, we tuned to Drop G. Like nobody's listening to what Josiah's playing and being like, you know, I think he could have placed that better.
It's like if we were doing like stuff like Rivers of Nile or something, then like our live tone would definitely have to be more dialed in.
Yeah.
But since for the shit that we play, we can just like hop up on a stage and just start playing.
We can just
Gives
say,
you some
hey,
liberty.
Yeah, definitely.
We're a death metal band, and someone's like, I like death metal, and so they like us, and that's it. You know,
like you said, vibes. You know,
it's easy like that.
Definitely not those type of bands to bring a laptop to tune your guitar.
So we can't play. My laptop's not working.
Somebody got a charger.
Seen that, been that. funny things, we've had bands on the complete opposite end of the spectrum on this show. They're like,
dude,
gotta have the laptop.
I was just watching the Living Dissection one when they were talking about in-ears and stuff, and I was like, this is crazy, dude.
That's
like,
a lot, dude.
That's I mean,
for their style, it makes sense.
it makes sense, but it's like, God, that would suck.
Like, imagine like forgetting like some of your shit at a show.
Dude,
like,
that would
I
suck.
forgot my AirPods.
I can't tell you how many times I've left power cables and all that, like
speaker cables. Yeah.
Dude, we've left like entire instruments at gigs before. I couldn't imagine bringing like a whole like in-ear
I left
system.
my pedal board at a few venues.
Damn.
before.
I left my kick pedals all the way in Houston.
Yeah, dude.
They had to mail it to me.
We forgot Josiah once or twice, man.
Wait, we're a 3-piece. Go back, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You said they were just starting to kind of get their production game down. I mean, this sounds great. Is this their first death metal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hated it too. Well, not
Nice.
like hated it,
Yeah.
but they were like, this is all the songs are 4 minutes and there's like 3 2-steps. This is stupid. And
Having to hear those songs over and over again too, and like you don't really listen to death metal. I
they're
can
like
imagine.
pop punk guys.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And when we were at their house recording, we were like on their Spotify on their computer and like just listening to a bunch of death metal. And he came in, he's like, "You fuckers, you ruined my Spotify. It's just covered in shitty death metal."
It was awesome.
Awesome.
We were trying to show him the guy who we were gonna send it off to like mix it. We were showing him his band, and he was just like, "Dude, this sounds like shit. You should just let me mix it, man." And I'm like, "Dude, you can't name a single death metal record." And he's just like, "Yeah, but I can make it sound better than this." I'm like, "Dude, these guys are on Maggot Stomp, bro. Like, it sounds pretty good."
All right, so getting into that, mix and master by Colossus Audio. Want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's the guitarist or the now guitarist for Dying Remains, which is a sick band, one of my favorites from that kind of wave of bands.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
I can't remember how, but I just like I hit him up. Oh, Dying Remains had posted on their story that he was like looking for some freelance work, and now he works in like a big studio and producing a bunch of cool records. But I just hit him up and I was like, "Yo, like I have a band. We're kind of trying to like put out some cool shit." This was before the Piss Leech split, and just kind of like got connected with him and started talking, and now we're actually kind of good buddies. Like we talk about video games a lot and stuff now.
Nice.
But
Hell yeah.
he did like the 2 tracks on the split for us, like a light mix and master kind of deal for cheap, and I was just like, okay, yeah, this guy's good, and I'm not gonna mix the fucking album, so we'll have Scott do it, and he did it, and he's a cool dude, and it sounds good.
And even then, for that split, like it's like a huge step up in terms of production from like our last stuff.
Big change.
We were like all super happy with it.
Do you remember the fucking transition into that triplet part in Involuntary?
Yeah,
He added the 808.
he really knows. He knows what we want. You know, like I think we got lucky in that he's the first person we looked for in like someone to mix our stuff, and we just got very lucky that he kind of just knows like the same vibe we're going for. You know, like when we all hopped on a Discord call and like talked about like general sounds we want for the album and stuff, and all Anthony said was like, "I want to sound like Malignant Altar drums," and dude, I left that call and came back like once or twice, and they were still on the phone just talking about Malignant Altar and like Defeated Sanity and just bands that they like the drummers of.
We were geeking.
So yeah,
super
he's a
hard
cool
on that
guy,
call.
very easy to work with and talk to and stuff. And yeah,
Hell yeah. Cool. Will we see any kind of music video or anything like that for this album?
yeah. So I guess
The 28th, I think, right?
yeah,
July
next week
28th.
the 28th.
Okay.
Smoked Flesh will be the second single.
Oh, nice.
And it's got a live video to it. We just had a couple of our homies, you know, give them $20 and some free beers from our truck, and they recorded that whole show and kind of threw it together. It's just like a little fun edit to look at something while you listen to the
Clips
single.
of people
You know,
smoking, eating spaghetti, moshing.
Hell yeah.
Always had to have the spaghetti in there.
it
though.
works.
I personally, I like the cool thought out videos sometimes, but sometimes I just like those kind of candid behind the scenes, a little bit of live footage,
Yeah.
a little bit of hanging out. Those videos are always fun to me. Like, I get it with the song, it's a little bit of live footage here and there, but I get the point. I'm listening to the song, but it's just fun because it kind of personalizes you a little bit too, instead of just being like, I'm this death metal guy. Fucking
Right.
blah, blah, blah,
And
I
especially
fucking hate
too, like,
everything."
Let's go to a warehouse and look scared.
We don't know anybody who knows how to like film like movies or videos, so like it was just way easier to just like get our homies who already film live sets to just like get a bunch of clips together than just like finding people that we don't know to be like, hey, can you direct a video for us?
Yeah.
And we're all three of us are like huge consumers of like music related media and stuff. I mean, dude, all of high school, if I could put it into odds, it would be like 8-1 odds that Josiah would come home to my mom's place with me and we would watch like 7 hours of like fucking shitty ass live videos and stuff, and then smoke out of an apple and then go home. You know, like we're just it's all about
like
the
just
vibe,
watching,
man.
just even like watching a video of a band playing, even if I can't hear it all that good, it's just cool as fuck to watch.
It's cool to be able to like personalize these people that you like to listen to. You know, it brings the art more into a local thing. You know,
especially we got our homies in the video too.
Yep.
So that's gonna be really
awesome.
sick.
Yeah, you guys definitely remind me of our younger selves because we did the same thing, but we were watching VHS and we're watching Ozfest 99 or whatever it was, 98. Any VHS we could get our hands on. You know,
wake up
you
and smell the carcass.
Yeah, wake up and smell the
real
carcass and like
Oh.
you know,
Actually,
Death Live in LA.
There's a reason he brought this.
I have a great
Oh.
piece of physical media that I just
Oh,
picked
yeah.
up yesterday from the
Nice.
great
That
band
one's mine.
Noxus.
Dude, Noxus rules. We listened to what they sent us one of their songs for a reaction video on this podcast,
They're
and
so
they were
sick.
badass. They're
Yeah,
from
they're
like
Cleveland, I
Cleveland,
believe.
right?
Yeah, they're fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
we've been listening to them since we were like freshmen or sophomores in
Yeah.
high school.
ever
So-
since their first demo came
Yeah.
out, they're fucking sick.
Yeah, good stuff.
We'll talk a little bit about that here in a second too, about some shows because I know you just played with them. But we'll I want to kind of wrap up anything else about the album that we may not have touched, or you think we're good on that?
Do you think the art's cool?
Art?
I didn't see art. Did you get art? I
Oh,
miss
dang it. I forgot to put it in the drive.
I only saw
No, you sent me the drive with the assets or whatever, but was it the art for molded concrete?
Yeah, it's the
Or
same
Is it
Yeah, it's
the
the same.
same or different?
same art.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
same art.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
It's-
like it. It has the it kind of has that. Oh, I got it right here. Maybe, but I mean, it has that death metal vibe to it, like the painting or whatever. So,
Yeah.
want to tell me a little bit about that?
We waited so long for that goddamn art piece, man.
Yeah, it took us a really long time. Martyr Doom, he did like 200 stab wounds and shit, and a bunch of other like bigger death metal artists. So like, there definitely is like some understanding that like he took some time because like he's probably a really busy guy, but we fucking waited like almost a whole year for artwork from that guy.
Really?
Yeah, we finally got it, and it's fucking sick. But we were like, man, it took forever.
Did you see it, Nick?
Am I looking at it, Malachi? Or is it not it?
Yup, that's it.
All right. Yeah, I see it. Orange and green-ish.
Yep.
Sweet.
I love the colors on it.
Went
That-
with our
those
alternate
earthy
logo on it.
tones.
Yeah, that logo definitely like fit that art piece the best.
It looks good.
Yeah, your other logo, you're talking about the ones that kind of has like the little other elements like the skulls and
Yeah.
bones and stuff of that. It kind of
Mhm.
really reminded me of like an old school like death logo because of the
Yeah, like all
the
like the-
sickle and the spider web and all that
Mhm,
shit.
yeah.
Like that's kind of cool. Yeah, did you guys have any direction on exactly what you wanted, or you were just like, hey, this is our music, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the name for the album like pretty much like when like during we were recording it. I think like we mentioned it, we talked about it like after like the second day of recording, but I'm pretty sure he came up with like the concept of it, just like
Mhm.
have like a dude like all buried and
Yeah.
stuff.
For those in shallow graves, I was thinking, yeah, just like a corpse, kind of like rising out of the ground almost, and having a lot of like moss and like just kind of like a lot of earthy
Putrid.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
putrid shit. Mhm.
it gives me a Altars of Madness vibe a little bit with the little creatures with the
Oh,
green
yeah.
shit, you know,
Yeah.
kind of the little
Uh-huh.
faces and stuff in there, you know.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, I fuck with the art.
It
man.
looks
I
like
think
he's
it's cool.
holding pizza right there.
Yeah.
Shout out, Pat.
Shout out to
For
Matt.
those in shallow graves with a full belly.
Yup.
Um,
That
For
toilet's
those
not,
in stuffed crust.
Yum yum.
the toilet's not going to be shallow afterwards.
If we were a thrash band, that's totally what it would be called.
Stuffed corpse.
Yeah.
Stuffed corpse.
Gross.
It's a new song title.
So tell me a little bit. You can have it. Tell me a little bit about the. Want to tell me just a little bit about you guys' writing process? This is where I always get interested in because everybody does a little different. And you guys being such an organic band, I guess it really strikes me that way.
Yeah, we just live really close to each other.
Cool.
So we all just like meet up at his mom's garage, and fucking Josiah always has riffs 24/7. So like
Nice.
they'll just kind of jam it out, and I'll jam it out with them, or I'll write something at my place. It's very kind of like just however it happens,
Yeah.
you know?
And to me, like, I can't like write a song without knowing how I want to start it. So like that's usually like what I come with is like intro riffs or like intro ideas. Because I can't just like come in with a riff and then be like, oh yeah, that sounds like it could be like a bridge section. Let me write around that. It's like I have to like go from like the very beginning to the end.
Start to finish.
So like that's usually what we do is like we come in, we're like, how do we want to start the song? We want to have like a fast intro, want to sound like this type of band, or just like pretty much just like spitball ideas for how we want to start a song, and then everything pretty much happens organically after that.
I know sometimes we'll even kind of like improv off of something. Let's say we have like a quarter of a song written. We'll be like, all right, let's just jam through it. And then usually where we stop, like, you know, we don't got nothing written, we'll sometimes just kind of go past it and just be like, keep playing
just
and just see if
naturally
anything's
just
cool.
go into
Yeah.
something, and then usually that's like what ends up sticking because like that like in your brain that like makes the most sense and it just sounds the best.
We're
Where
very
you went
good.
next. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very good at improving with each other. So, I mean, I think there's probably at least a couple of songs on the album that is like Josiah wrote one riff and then we brought it to practice and then just pretty much improved the whole thing and just kind of cleaned up the edges, you know? We're lucky that we kind of have that chemistry where we can just like snap into something, you know?
Yeah, which is it's cool because that's almost the way I write. Like I'll come up with stuff, but I don't usually come up with full songs. I'll kind of, unless it's like something Nick and I are working on, that's a different story. But I'll like at practice, I'll just bring a riff or two and then be like, what can we do with this? And then you'll jam on it a little bit. But then you have other bands, you had mentioned Living Dissection, where like everything's like basically already written and then we have to learn the song that we wrote, you know? So there's like so many ways to approach it.
Yeah.
But you guys just seem like, I was saying, you're such an organic band. You want that raw sound. So
Vibes.
that's the perfect way to write music like that. You know what I mean? Is just get in the room and jam.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it takes a while probably to get a song together because Josiah's just not like, here's the 6 riffs you got to learn, Anthony. Like, please play this bass. Malakai. You know what I mean? So
honestly, I feel like when we were first starting out and writing together, we were more involved in particular in writing than we are now. Because, I mean, then like we really had to try to work something out. And yeah, that's how it was. Like, probably almost a good chunk of the first demo and even the second EP were like we are sitting down and we are writing death metal, and then about halfway through that somewhere we just like we're like whatever.
Because we used to get like super heady about it, where like we would have like a really cool riff that comes after a part. We'd be like, I don't know if it's like blah 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 blah, but if it's like in our situation, it's like if it just sounds good, then just keep it. Like, it doesn't matter like if it's like not like specifically what you want or whatever. It's like if it just sounds really good within the song, then use it. Like even if like the riff is like super simple and generic, it's like if it fits within the song, then we can use it.
We're very simple.
Like, I try not to get like super heady about it, like because there's people that are like, oh, I want to make a death metal band, but it has to sound like this and this and this, and it's like, dude, just let it flow, you know?
Yeah, and if you're letting those riffs come out of you naturally in an improv session, when you got the one that you know you want, but you don't know what happens next, it's better to just write it on the spot with your mates than to say, well, I want to butt it up to this riff that I also have in the pocket.
Exactly.
But then they don't go together because there's too much of a difference between riff A and riff B to where you're like, well, the beat is drastically different, or now it's a key change, or when I play them back to back, they just don't go together. And save that riff for later. Let's just vibe with the one riff and then see what somebody will have an idea between the three.
Exactly.
Of
It's
You
like
really-
just see what happens.
You lose the aspect of being a band
Yeah.
when you just assign one person to writing and then the rest of you just have to catch up. You
Yeah,
know, you
right.
lose that. You lose the ability to be.
Yeah, plus
group,
a band
you know?
can sound really stale because like there's so many like big bands out there, especially where it's just one dude writing everything, and it's
Right.
like
Yep.
that's how it ends up just sounding really stale because you just got one dude thinking of everything.
It
Yeah.
just comes to be like a solo project.
Yeah.
And And we've come so far in metal and gone back the other way with the technicality and needing to show off and be flashy. And, you know, how many riffs can you write with 1, 3, and 4 that hasn't been written already, you know? So it's like if you start overthinking that shit, then you're probably just going to make it even worse because
Exactly.
like this felt good. And sometimes, like you've said multiple times, vibe, right? So, because you start overthinking, oh, we need to add this note, oh, it really needs to be like this. And
Yeah,
then you get into
exactly.
this thing that's just too hard to even fucking play sometimes because you want to think about it so much. And it's like,
Yep.
does that naturally come?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
am I forcing
And
this
plus
to come
people
out?
can like tell like if music is like genuine or not. Like if you like if you're like letting like just the song flow and like having every part just kind of come after it naturally, then it's like people can tell that because it all like it feels right. But like if you're like a band that's just like forcing everything, just like no, we gotta be like old school, but kind of have like a
Yeah.
technical aspect to it. Then it's like people are gonna tell that you're just trying to
Yeah.
force shit
It's-
way too hard.
Yeah.
Every single song has already been written. Every band's already
Yeah.
been made.
Yeah.
You just gotta. You
Just
just
make
gotta,
good music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just have fun, man.
Simpsons
I mean,
did it already.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
this-
the Simpsons predicted it.
Yeah,
The
so-
Simpsons predicted Decedent.
And like Mod said earlier, do what you like. Write the music you want to hear because if you do that and you overanalyze, then you're starting to write stuff that for maybe somebody else or for fans of this, I want to make sure my band sounds like that. You know, and
Mhm.
you know that's just not a good.
At
path
the end
to
of the
go
day,
down,
you just
know?
got to focus on yourself because you're the one who's making the music. You
Yeah,
know?
Yep.
exactly.
Mhm.
You can't overthink it, man. Especially in this genre,
And I think-
everything's been done.
Yeah,
Like
so if you're
cavemen.
thinking about death metal too, like when you're thinking when you're making death metal, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, for real, dude.
You can't be thinking.
Yeah, you can't take it that serious sometimes. You know?
And unless you really like are hell bent on sounding original, like it's almost all been done. Like you said,
Yep.
you know, we've heard it all. We're so deep into music now in the 21st century from where rock and roll started. It's like we've heard it, done it all. There's very few people who are capable of creating original music that you've never heard anything like it before. And if you don't naturally do that, then don't try to do that
Exactly.
because
Yep.
the odds are so stacked against you that you're going to write something like mind-blowingly original. Just stay in your vein, stay in your lane. Like, hey, this is what I like. This is what I want to sound like. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to mix things up that don't go together unless it comes out naturally. So just pick the thing that the three of you like gravitate toward and write that style of music and then be
Exactly.
good at it, you know?
Yeah, it's like you just got to be good at what you do. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's like the most original thing in
Yeah.
the world. It's like as long as you can like do it really well, then doesn't it plus it especially too it doesn't matter at the end of the day if other people like it too.
Yeah.
If you just like it, that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Well, it'll come back to you. Like
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
put your heart and soul into it and you're good at it, like it's going to catch on.
Yeah.
Like there's enough people.
mm-hmm.
We'll discover you if
Yeah,
you
there's-
stick. If you
There's
stick
something
with
for
it.
everybody.
Yeah,
you know?
there's a stickability to it. And like Mod, so we do reaction episodes, like I had just mentioned, and bands will send us stuff. And Mod's not really into like the more insane grindcore or black metal stuff, but a lot of times he'd be like, I really like that because they did it well. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily something I would put on,
Sure.
but they just did it well, and you could tell they were living their truth. So we'll just jam it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that goes a long way. And then I just want to say one more thing. Anytime I've ever tried to sit down, I heard a band that I just, that band's fucking sweet. I want to go write something like that. It never turns out like that anyway.
Exactly.
It
Yep.
never
Never
fucking
does.
does. Like I want to be I want to write another death song almost and rip that up. It's not going to come out like that anyway.
Yeah, even if you
know?
like take notes on what they're doing, like
Yep.
musically, it's like it's still gonna be different because it's you making it. It's
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
them making it. You know.
So you got to kind of let that go. Like you can be inspired, but this whole trying to sound like band A or band B, you're just
never
doing
gonna
yourself
work.
a disservice because it's not going to sound like
because
that.
and the bands that do end up sounding like other bands, like let's say like there's like bands that want to sound exactly like Black Dahlia Murder. You know, like there's like bands that sound exactly like them, but that's just because that's just what they sound like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they're
Right.
just inspired by it and they can just happen to make it like sound like that, you know?
Yeah.
If you're going through the effort to genuinely make art, there's no point in trying to make another person's art. I mean, it's
Correct,
like
dude.
if every
Yeah.
single painter in the world tried to paint like Da Vinci, we would have the worst art galleries
Yeah.
of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
You know, like
It'd be
it's,
like
see
one
something
hallway
new.
long.
Yeah.
I seen it.
yeah.
It's like, wow, that sucked.
There's, there's nothing better
Seen
that
it.
you can do.
I seen it.
Seen it.
That's funny.
There's nothing better than making bad music that maybe you don't even like, but like as long as it's something you're making,
Yeah.
you know, it's
As
just
long as it's genuine and
yeah.
And at the end of the day, man, you get so much more value out of doing something for yourself than trying to be like, oh, I hope we get 1 million streams. I hope we make
Yeah.
money. I hope we can play this show
I
or
hope
whatever.
you blow up.
Yeah, exactly. That's when shit. That's when shit actually goes wrong because you're just fighting the force of the universe. You're going
Yeah.
against everything.
you got to think about
as an
why you got
artist.
into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So, you had one solo in the one song, right?
Yeah.
Now, conscious effort to put a solo in the song. Will there be more solos? How do you decide that? What makes that decision?
Pretty much like what we were just talking about. Like, if I can't like hear it in like the song, like when we're writing a song and like it just like a solo, like I just can't hear it anywhere in the song, then I just won't do it.
Yeah.
But with Rotted, that whole section, it really did feel like it was like a
Yeah.
solo section. So like that's why I did it. But I definitely would want to do like more solos, but it's not something that I'm gonna like go out and try to do. Like make sure I do more solos.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just my number one thing is just good songwriting.
Yeah.
So
The way we write makes it hard for that because, especially as a 3-piece, if we're ever improvising and like there's a section that maybe a solo would work, it's just one guitar. So
Yeah.
it's like either you gotta just rely on just Anthony's drumming and I'm just fucking playing bass that you can't hear in the background and he's
Right.
got to come up with a solo over that. So
You're
yeah,
right.
and plus like I do like when I came up with the solo, it's like obviously think of it like when like the music's already like been recorded or like in my case like it was just voice memos of us jamming. So like if I ever were to do like another solo, I just probably would just sit through like all the voice memos of the songs that we have and like try to figure out a part to do it over.
Yeah, that makes sense. What happens when you guys have any disagreements on a part?
we
yell at
fight each other and
we
spit at each other. Yeah.
threaten to quit the band.
We've never really had like any like harsh like disagreements about anything. There may have been like moments where we were like where we thought one part should be like go one way and then another person thought another part should go this way.
The subway incident.
Yeah, it's all about
historically.
it's all about just like compensating for each other, and also it's like I'm not gonna be offended if you don't like my riff.
Right,
Like it's
right.
just like
Yeah.
it's just a composition of fucking chromatic notes. Like it's not like a personal thing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
oh you hate my riff? Well fuck you.
Yeah. It's hard
I make
because
good riffs.
yeah,
I make
it-
good riffs.
it's hard because it comes from your soul and you can be a little bit married to it. But when you're in a band, you also have to understand a marriage is a compromise.
Yeah, it's
at
like
all
it's not
times,
just
and-
your band. And plus,
Yeah.
if I really did like something, I'll just save it for something that I want to do later.
Yeah,
Like a
you
side-
can do it.
like
Yeah,
a solo
it's not
project.
your solo project.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
The worst we've
Yeah.
ever disagreed has just been like, all right, well, let's just go home and then come back tomorrow.
Yeah,
and then we
see
come
what
back
happens.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly.
Go get food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be
Dude,
angry.
I
doing
swear to
that.
God, if there was not like if there was less than the fast food restaurants we already have in Mount Pleasant, we would probably not be a band, dude. You don't know how many times we've been practicing and me and Josiah will get pissed at each other and then Anthony will just suggest we get Arby's and then we get Arby's and we're happy and we love each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
That'll
awesome.
do it a lot. You
Yeah.
know?
And then we'll come back and we'll crank out a dope ass song.
Yeah, every
exactly.
time.
Sometimes you just need to step away from it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Take a
Gotta
break.
get food.
The other day I had an incident. We were jamming something and we were trying to finish up this song, and there's just one part, and we were playing it, and I just loved the way it was. And then there was a suggestion made. Well, what if we do that? And I said, nope. And he started to talk again. I said, nope.
It's not happening.
Don't even talk over me, boy. that part stands. That's all I can say. I'll compromise with you all day, but when something sounds sick as fuck, I'm not going to go in, just like you were just
Yeah.
saying, you guys were just talking about, I'm not going to start fucking fiddling with it. Like, it
Yeah.
already sounds
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
Let's not try to fucking overcomplicate it. We already know it sounds sick, so don't
Exactly.
even bring the suggestion. Sorry. I'm not usually like that. I'm like, we are in a band. What is your idea? But on this particular one, it sounded so sweet the
Yeah,
way
but-
it was palm muted. It was heavy as fuck, and I was like, not
And
changing.
there's so many parts where like even if like they're unsure about it, I'm just like, you guys gotta trust me with this one. Because like I can hear everything in my head.
Right.
And usually like if we're like all unsure about something, it's like just jam through it anyway and then listen to like the recording on your phone because most of the time like your brain's not even really like listening to what you're like playing. You're just focused on playing.
Yeah.
So if you can actually just go back and like just relax and hear what you're playing and like that's when you can make like the best songwriting decisions because you're just listening to the song.
Voice
You're not
memos saved
jamming.
my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also feel too in our genre, especially for me, if you're writing a riff, it could be like the dumbest, simplest sound of shit, and it might sound absolutely terrible with you in the room jamming it by yourself. Like, this is dumb. But as soon as Malakai jumps on it and then Anthony starts putting this cool like beat over the top of it or something, you're like, this dumb riff just went from 5 to fucking 25 in an instant, you know, because it's everybody's thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you guys like slam. You play some slam a little bit here and there, and I like some slam. But like I said, come up with so many riffs of gung 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 gung.
Yeah, and plus like a lot of the times like you just
you know
like through jamming you just come up with stuff by accident. Like the intro to Sleepaway Camp, I just started playing that like just like fucking around, and then we all just like went into it. Yeah.
Same thing with Archaic Loss of Life. Remember that one time we were practicing before a show, and then you were just, I don't know if you were like warming up or something, but it was that same tremolo riff in the beginning. And I was like, it actually sounds pretty sick. And then we just kind of started jamming.
There's a lot of that. Or Beaten Behind Bars was one where we had like the first intro riff, the chun chun, you know, and then I think we just like wanted a fast riff, and Josiah had his guitar off, and he was literally just going like, wah, 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 wah. And I was like, yo, we're gonna use that one. And he was like, it's just I'm not actually writing a riff right now. And I was like, nah, we'll use that one. And then it just kind of worked.
I was just like, dude, look how fucking stupid this is.
Oh yeah. Dude, that's what it was too. He was like, this is like the dumbest shit ever. And I was like, oh, it's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, it fits within the song.
Yeah,
That's
it
awesome.
fits. Sometimes shit just works, man.
Oh yeah, that's cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about some shows. You guys played last night in Lansing.
Yep.
That was
With
badass.
Mhm.
Got
So drunk.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's so witty.
Got sauced up.
Oh
Did
yeah.
get sauced.
Yeah.
Those are always the
Noxus.
best.
The juice
shows,
was
too.
loose last night.
Oh yeah, dude.
I
It
say,
was-
for me, if I'm like nearing blackout behind the kit, I automatically play like 25 times better.
Well, you think
feel-
that.
Yeah, but that's all that matters, though, right?
Yeah, if your confidence is up, that's all that matters.
Yeah. But no, it was cool. I mean, like I said earlier, Noxus is one of those bands that we've all listened to since like the demos. And they're, you know, you can like in your head sometimes, like you said that, like in your head, a band can be way bigger than what they actually are. And like they're still a big band. But like it was for a moment kind of surreal that it was like, oh shit, we're like opening for Noxus in a basement in Lansing, like in front of our friends. Like that's fucking crazy. You know, they for a minute there, they were like one of those like hundreds of like unattainable bands. It's just like, oh man, I hope I can catch them on some big tour. And then, yeah, it was cool. I spent like $100 at their merch table, man.
Yeah, when you're a kid, like all the bands, it's like even like the most underground ones, like you just like romanticize them in your head to where like they're just like super big, like larger than life. And then when you actually get to play with them, you're like, oh, they're just regular guys.
Yeah, they're just cool dudes.
Yeah, they're just dudes, man. We're all just dudes that play fucking loud shit.
Those are always the coolest shows too, getting to play with the people that you look up to. You know,
Yeah.
going from like burning out the CD in your fucking truck to
Yeah.
going to get to play with them like a
And
couple
it's
years
lucky-
later. You're just like, no way.
We're lucky our heroes are just like regular guys.
Yeah.
So we don't have
No, exactly.
And,
like
and we all play metal, so it's like, man, you're a fan of their music and you think they're bigger than you are, but like if you're really, unless you're one of them top tier guys, you're the ones that actually making money off that. But at the end of the day, those guys probably still have day jobs and always did, and all of us will always. You know, like
I idolize drywallers.
That's what I was just about.
it's just like very, very, very rare you're gonna find a guy that's made all of his money off music and can continue to do that. Like, the kind of music we play, we're not fucking. There's no secret that there's not money in this shit,
Right.
Like, you know,
it's pretty much like just like other bands supporting each other.
yeah,
with, like,
pretty
fans.
much.
Scene keeps itself
Shit.
moving.
Same with our podcast, you know.
Oh,
we
yeah.
we talk about nerdy music shit with death metal guys all day. There's a handful of people that will listen to it, but every Sunday we still turn these fucking microphones on and these cameras on.
Yeah, it's
and
a
spend
labor
the
of
5
love.
hours editing the goddamn podcast and the 3 doing the clips. So you know, But what do you guys got coming up as far as shows?
Next Saturday or this Saturday.
I got the show note.
So this won't be out until August, but you can tell us anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This won't go out till I think it's the 12th or something, because it's going to be a few days before you guys' CDs.
Yeah, for August. The next Decedent gig is actually going to be like next week, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But for August, we're going to be going to Canada, like 3 days or 3 or 4 days with our homies in Consuming Misery.
Okay.
They were really good, like really super good, just like old school type death metal from
Michigan
Canada.
band or
Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. We're gonna be playing a show with Mortuary Slab for the first date. That's gonna be really fucking sick. I love those guys.
Going to like Niagara and Toronto and Windsor. And
first time like playing out of the country or even going out of the country for me.
But I just got a call for jury duty in the mail for literally the only days we're going to be in Canada. So I got to figure out how to get out of that. I might commit federal crimes.
Well, you're
going
to be out of the country anyways. I think it'll be fine.
We got to try. I don't know.
There is something, some kind of clause that you can do. Just look into it. You'll find it.
Make it as a mandated business trip, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if we LLC Decedent, yeah, I could probably get out of it pretty easy.
So you got Canada coming up.
Canada will be cool.
Yeah,
We're playing with Fear the Dark down in Cleveland, I think. Yep.
Yeah, on the 22nd with Infectious Waste.
Any record release shows, local or
we that's like in the talks, but we don't have like a date or like a venue or anything like that picked out.
I'm personally, and this is kind of a weird opinion, I guess, but I'm not like a super big fan of like record release specific shows, you know? Like we did one for like our EP with like a bunch of our friends, but I don't know, like when I think about it, I'm just like, you know, we could like book this whole show and stuff like for our album, or, you know, we could just like tell people about it when we're touring through Canada, and then, you know, we got that show in Ohio, just be like, yeah, and we just dropped an album too, you know, as an opener.
Right. I mean, I definitely think it would be really cool to still do one though. Like I would want to.
This is where we start fighting.
Arby's is just right up
the street.
Yeah, for sure.
Just right around the corner. I know it's getting to be about that time. So I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. I got a few more questions for you, and then we'll get you out of here. We're hitting almost 2 hour mark. I don't like to keep anybody past that. So so just real quick, what about touring? Is that something that's on the docket? Is that something that you aspire to do? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely really want to do it. We're not like we don't ever like plan our tours or anything. So like we just like wait for like other bands to ask us.
Yeah.
And we feel like that's probably like gonna happen a little bit more once this album comes out. Like once our actual good material comes out,
and you got something to show for yourself.
Yeah. So I feel like that definitely might happen. So we definitely we've already talked about like kind of accepting less like one-off shows, just like with just like random bands and stuff. So like we can save time to like actually like go out and tour and stuff.
We've got some good road experience. Like with our other band, we drove all the way down to Houston, Texas, and played a show down there, kind of a one-off a couple months ago. And we did like a weekender kind of around Lake Michigan with Yotuma and stuff. So like I think we're at a point now where we have like the confidence to do it. And now then the album's coming out, so we might have the draw to do it. Okay. And now it's just kind of about like getting the time off of work and saving up rent money and stuff so that we can do it.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's cool.
But it is a huge aspiration though for us. I mean, what's better than hanging out with your homies, driving around places and
experience
road
stuff.
tripping.
Dude, so many cool record stores.
Yeah, playing your art in front of new people. Is
exactly.
Fun, you know,
so much money lost at the record stores.
Oh my god, dude! When we were in Chicago, we were at a bookstore. I dropped probably, I guess it was like a mixed media store, but I dropped probably $120 on like H.P. Lovecraft books there. And then
Modd was just talking about that.
We go down the road. That's what's up. We go down the road. There's like another record store, and I drop another 70 there because they got like the new Piss Grave and all this bullshit. And yeah, man, record stores and merch tables and ironfortress.com. Dude, I could probably buy a house with the money I spent.
Or go on tour for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. What's next for Decedent?
We we're working on like some other songs. like we've talked about doing like another split with this band called Excremental Scaphism. We don't know if we want to like keep like these songs for like just another EP or just use the songs that we have for like a split. We don't even have them like fully written. It's just like 2-3 skeletons of songs. So once like this album comes out, like probably around like maybe like the end of the year towards next year, we'll probably like really like brush up on it and like try to like work on something else. Plus with our other band too, we gotta like record an EP. So like a lot of our time can kind of be getting eaten up by like working with other like side projects, and also got work and stuff.
Yeah, we're playing shows every weekend. We all got side projects and
Yeah.
shit.
We just definitely need to take some time off to like focus on it.
Yeah.
So like yeah, but like the rest of this year is pretty much like booked up. So like we're pretty much just gonna be like focusing on like the album that's gonna be released, and then recording our EP with our other band.
We've never had a huge like future outlook for the band. I mean, we're all pretty like go with the flow kind of people, and I mean, you know, we have like our milestones we want to hit and stuff, but like really we're just like trying to do as much as people let us and offer us, you know. So
Plus, like with writing the album, that was even like a thing that we like talked about doing before. We just ended up writing a lot of songs.
We had a lot of
and
songs.
we were just like, want to just finish writing an album. We already have like 7 songs.
Okay.
So
So-
it's kind of just like what happens.
Okay, so Donnie Brasco is your other group?
Yeah, all that's
you guys are all in it? Because
we're
I
all
see
in
you
it, yeah.
played that Midwest Spin Kick Festival.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
And then
fun.
when I looked up Donnie Brasco online, it said it was all programmed drums, and I listened to like a track, and
Yeah,
I could
all
tell it was
the-
all programmed drums. So
all the
I
music.
didn't know how that came in because you guys played live, and I didn't know who was all in the band.
Yeah, all that that came together with me and my friend Deegan. We're just big fans of like the old school deathcore stuff. And yeah, all the stuff that we do have released currently is like with like programmed drums. I like wrote all of that, but we started like getting like the demand to like play live. So I didn't know anybody else besides these guys already. So I was
Yeah.
like, you guys just want to do this with me? And then it ended up getting to a point where like I wanted like real drums and stuff, because you know like obviously like it will sound better, but like people also take you more seriously if you actually
yeah.
got like a full band with
yeah,
you.
for sure.
So yeah, that's how they are in the band now.
I'm
So-
there for moral
And plus,
support.
and the new EP that we have written, it was written by me and him too. So
So you have another guitar player and a vocalist then in that band?
yeah, he's the other guitar player,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
the vocalist is our friend Deegan.
And,
no bass?
Bass would be Mike from Kingslayer, and he,
Oh,
he
okay,
does that
okay.
live. with
Yeah,
us.
for recording, I usually just do the bass, but he just does bass like live and stuff.
Okay.
And if we can't get him, then it's not the end of the world. We just run a show with just 2 guitar players.
Yeah.
Most people don't even play instruments when they see us, so they can't even like tell the difference.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So I'm just wondering, so what differentiates the Donnie Brasco project from the Decedent project? Because the Decedent is the more of that old school, new school death metal stuff where, well, I was listening to it and I heard a lot more melody and kind of more of a deathcore vibe. But like, how do you really set the boundary between the 2 bands, especially with sharing the members as well?
Well, he's the only one that writes it.
Yeah,
Okay, so it is
It's-
just your project,
yeah.
basically.
yeah, pretty. Yeah, with like the first EP that we did we did 2 EPs and then a split. All that stuff was written by me, but with this new EP that we have written, it was written by me and him.
Okay.
I come up with all the riffs, and then he just I tell him like loose ideas
Yeah.
of what I want the drums
And
to sound like.
he'll send me some of those bands from back then in like the 2000s and stuff like that. So I really study up on it, and it's all relatively kind of more simpler than
Yeah.
death metal. So I know the drummer's job in like a deathcore band is mostly just keeping a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
A
lot,
lot of
like,
China.
yeah, lots of China, halftime, and
Yeah.
then maybe a blast here.
Yeah, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Okay.
He hates it.
yeah, he plays in it.
He plays
Chasing
it,
the
but he hates
clouds.
It's fun.
All right,
went to
fellas.
Texas.
Well, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. Mod's going to send us out with a final question. We haven't asked this in a little bit because we've been running out of time, but like I said, I don't want to keep you too long. And he's going to send you out with a final question while
Yes,
he's
it's
pulling
real.
that up.
Yeah. So we like to give your fans an idea of what you guys are listening to. So let's let them know what's good in your world that's heavy, and then anything that you guys like to chill out to, like the interludes or anything that's on the mellow vibe.
And just 1 or 2 bands. You don't have to give us your whole Spotify or nothing. Just give us like 1 or 2 bands that like maybe I never heard or Nick never heard, because I get a lot of gems out of asking bands this. So
This is gonna be difficult, man.
pull up
We
your
listen
Spotify
to a
if
lot
you
of
need.
music, dude.
Yeah, I'll pull up some. I'll do one extreme and then one not extreme.
Oh, so you can hook up to my Wi-Fi if you need, but
Yeah, so for heavy, the main stuff I've been jamming recently is Cruelty with a K
Okay.
from Japan.
Yep.
Super
Familiar.
fucking heavy, good shit. I love that shit. And for like soft shit, this I guess like shoegaze, like dream pop band called Sea Lemon. I've been listening to them a lot. They're super fucking good.
That's cool.
hell yeah.
For me, heavy wise, there's a sick ass death metal band from Australia. I'm about to open up a big old band, like can of worms of fucking Australia. I love Australian death metal, but recently,
Crikey.
Crikey, Delicask from Australia. They're kind of like, they remind me of Defeated Sanity, kind of mixed with Gorguts. It's kind of weird like that. But they got a new album that's coming out. I think is it next week? But
Yeah,
they got
next Friday.
Yeah, they got 2 singles out featuring Sanguisugabogg and Threshold, and super sick. But on a softer side, there's this like kind of I wouldn't know how to describe them, but it's a band called Milo Christ. I think they're from Indonesia, but I like to put that on and jam and just kind of chill out, late night drive type things.
Hell yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like Mom Jeans and like that.
What are they called?
Milo Christ.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been jamming to those 2 a lot.
Sweet.
Malakai's
Man.
got like 8.
Dude,
right
there's
now.
so many good bands. Well,
Just plug one.
one I've been listening to a lot is Mortual. It's M and then a O with a umlaut and then Ortool. They're pretty good. They're from Costa Rica. Super cool. Like I mean, it is just like super run of the mill death metal, but like they just got their own kind of ambience around them, you know, and it's really cool. Really cool album art and stuff. I'm a big doom metal guy, so like some of the more softer stuff I listen to a lot of like Oradruin. They're like a Lord of the Rings themed like doom rock band, really cool.
Yeah, there's none of those out there.
Yeah, dude, there's so many. Well, that's why I'm struggling.
Every doom band's
That's why I'm
like
struggling.
fucking Lord of the Rings inspired.
The only bands I can think of are in like the most saturated possible genres. But no, they're really cool. I listen to a ton of Dungeon Synth. One that I wanted to say, but I forgot the name. But the guitarist for Undeath, Kyle Beam, just put out his first, at least the first that I've known about, Dungeon Synth project, and I can't remember the damn name, man. But
It's called Beam Synth.
it's Dungeon Synth. It all sounds the same, but I listen to a shit ton of that and like horror soundtracks and stuff. A lot of Italian horror is,
Yeah, okay.
dude.
Yeah.
You
Also listen to Slim Thug.
Slim Thug,
Slim Thug,
Smoke Dope 2016,
Skinny.
great rapper.
Is a Skinny Pimp.
Marlon Dubois,
Listen to Gangsta Pat.
Evil
Thanks to
Pimp.
that. Tommy Wright III. We listen to a lot of the rap stuff. Oh, you know what? Actually, scratch everything I just said. I've been listening to a ton of Madonna lately. Dude, what is that album called? Erotica, I think it is, from 1983. Dude, oh my God. If I could go back in time and like shake one person's hand, it would be 1983 Madonna, bro.
Hell yeah.
Shake more than a hand, probably.
I'm a married man.
Censor that.
No, dude. Yeah.
All right,
Pleading the
fellas.
fifth.
I just
Pleading
want to
the fifth.
say thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on the show, getting
Yeah,
your
dude.
asses out this way. I know it's kind of a drive, but I
Mm.
really appreciate it. You guys really rule. I love your music. You guys
Thanks,
put
man.
on a hell of a show, so had to have you on our show. Like I said, if you're listening to this Friday, this record comes out. For those in shallow graves, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
So
Heavy
you
metal.
can follow at Iron Fortress Records. Decedent MI is the link tree, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So make sure you guys go follow these guys, pick up this record, and make sure you check them out live as soon as you can. So is there anything else you guys want to say before we take off?
Thank you, Metal Maniacs Podcast.
Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
are awesome.
Thank you guys so
guys.
much.
Appreciate
It's
you
been
guys.
an honor.
Oh,
Good time.
that's it.
Cool.
Sweet.
Much love. Keep it metal. 1983 Madonna, baby.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Thank you so much for checking out the episode. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a share.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our podcast today, please give it a rating on your streaming service to help us gain some exposure.
And if you really enjoyed the show, please give us a follow or hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us every week. And remember, keep it metal.